Welcome everybody. Another episode of Shinobi Podcast, Season 3. That's 3, baby. Keeping this thing going. I got a special guest beside me. I'm very happy he decided to do this, decided to join me. We are in Bravo's Barbershop, located in Fort Myers. My man, introduce yourself to the people. Let them know who you are.
What is going on? What is going on, good folks? My name is RICCIERI. I am the manager over here at Bravo's Barbershop. We are right off of Metro Parkway here in Fort Myers. And it's a pleasure, man. I'm happy to do this today and definitely looking forward to it. I know we're going to have some good conversations and
no doubt
it's going to be the right people are going to hear what they need to hear. Let's just say that.
For sure. Yeah, man. Just to give you guys a little history, man. The way I met this guy was I was looking for a barber, man. I was looking for a barber. My old barber, he moved on to bigger and better things. I was a little bit saddened, I must admit. But yeah, I was up in Fort Myers for a little bit, man. I originally lived in Naples, but I was up in Fort Myers for a little bit, kind of getting my feet back on solid ground. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And getting some things together in my life, and you know how it go, man. We gotta look fresh.
You have to, man.
You know,
always.
You gotta look fresh and be refreshed. Every time I get a cut, I feel refreshed. You know what I'm saying?
That's awesome, man.
You know, so I was looking for a barber, searching, looking at reviews. You know how that go. And I ended up coming across this place. And what got me was the website, man. The website and just the whole aesthetic of everything. I was like, this place looked nice, man. It didn't look like your typical barbershop.
Yeah, nah,
you know what I'm saying? So I was like, let me go check this place out. And I didn't know any barbers because, you know, when you come into a new barbershop, you don't know how anybody cuts. You know what I'm saying? And I just happened to pick you on the booking.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's just like they had all of them on there. I mean, they had a few barbers on there. And I just happened, it probably was because you probably like fit the time frame that I needed to get it cut. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So ended up doing that, man. I came in here, bro, and I was like instantly like, this is like from the TVs to the
animal heads,
racing cars,
PlayStation.
I really love the Knight armor over there. That really sticks out to me. But yeah, this is a real like warm and welcoming place, man. Like as soon as I walked in, and then when I was talking to you, you were welcoming as well when I walked in, and I was just like, I just really felt like at ease when I walked in here. You know, man. It was more than a barbershop because, you know, throughout my life, bro, like I've been to different barbershops, lived in different places, different cities and states, you know, and the barbershop was always that place, like that communal place.
That's the spot, man. Like it's where you go. It's where you have that little bit of time to yourself. Maybe you meet up with some friends that go there as well too, and it's just the spot, you know. And I definitely appreciate you saying all that, man, because like our main goal here is definitely to bring something different to Fort Myers, to Florida in general, like to Lee County and stuff like that. But it's like a man cave, man. We got what, like 4 TVs that always have different sports on them. We got the TV right here in front that always has our services, as well as we do like commercials for anybody that wants to partner with us. Like some of our clients own their own businesses and stuff like that. So we have that TV that's available for them to put up a commercial so other people can see them. Obviously the PlayStation 5 area, because you have to have a spot to chill while you wait, because sometimes we take a little longer on cuts. You know, the conversation gets good and maybe that half-hour haircut goes up to an hour. So you got to have that one spot for people to be able to hang out and not just sit around. And got the couch here as well too. We got 2 couches that are comfortable, and it's like I said, man, it's literally just a hangout spot. We like people to come in here and feel comfortable. You know, you come in here with your son and everything. You guys hang out, and that's what it is, man. It's a barbershop. It's a lot of people nowadays, I feel like they make a barbershop just so you can get in and out real quick. It's tiny. Can't really feel comfortable in there. Nah, this place is big, and yeah, I don't know. That's our main goal, man, is just to make the customer feel as happy as possible. Because at the end of the day, you're the one that matters. Obviously, without you in here, none of this is possible.
No doubt,
and whatnot. So
Now the PlayStation, that really stuck out, man. I grew up a gamer, bro. Like from Nintendo days, bro.
Yes,
like
sir.
From Mario on up, you know. So when I saw that, and I've always been interested in the little racing sims. So when I saw that, I was like, oh man, I actually get my chance to kind of get my hands on this thing, you know. And my son is in love with that thing. You know
the racing. The kids love it, man. Kids love it.
This is a great place for you to come, hang out, get some good conversation, get good vibes, man. It's really like some family vibes in here, man. You'll see kids in here running around. You know, when first time I brought my son here, they were giving my son toys to play with. You know, one of the barbers, he actually, while I was getting my hair cut, he took my son off so my son would, you know, be occupied, man. Yeah. So these guys, they're going to take care of you, man, when you come in here, man. It's a lot more than just getting a dope haircut. You're going to get a dope haircut. You're going to get a dope haircut regardless. You know what I'm saying? But, yeah, man, I really like this place, man. And, bro, I drive up here from Naples just to get my hair cut now.
I didn't even know that.
So, like...
I thought you lived here in Fort Myers.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Well, I just recently moved back.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Right. I just recently moved back. But I'm like, bro, the whole feeling here, bro, it's worth it. And, you know, my nephews, they live not too far from here. So it's like I can come up here and then I can go holler at them, you know, and handle what we need to handle, man. So, yeah, it's definitely worth coming here. And I definitely appreciate this type of atmosphere and this kind of place. You know what I'm saying?
No, we're glad to have you in here. We're glad to have you as a family, client, all that good stuff, man.
Yeah, I feel like I'll be here for a minute, man. Be here for a minute. They're gonna be able to see my son grow.
Hey.
Until it's time for him to start getting that thing cut.
It's a blessing, man. Nothing but a blessing.
You cut curly hair?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I love cutting curly hair. Bro, honest to God, curly hair is probably my favorite type of hair to cut. Yeah.
Why would you say that?
Because the straight hair, like obviously straight hair, you can make it look good, but there's only like certain type of looks you can get with straight hair.
That's true.
Curly hair, just even though, like, depending on how curly the hair is, you can get maybe a few styles out of it, but it's just the styles are just better. I don't know. I think it's because I got curly hair as well myself too.
That makes sense.
And
though.
my daughter's got curly hair, my wife's got curly hair. So I don't know. I like it. I like working with it more. It is, I think, because a lot of barbers find it more challenging. Like, you don't have too many barbers out there that are comfortable with scissors, especially with cutting curly hair, because there's a difference. Like, if you want it to look like you took an inch off of curly hair, you gotta take like a half an inch. Versus with straight hair, if you want to take an inch, you take an inch. Because curly hair, once it coils up after you cut it, man, if you take an inch, it's gonna look like you took 3. So, and then you just gotta know how to work with it, mess with it, kind of give it that nice format. And it's honestly one of the hairstyles, the textures that I try to specialize the most in.
Gotcha.
But here we cut every type of hair. It doesn't matter what you want, what hairstyle you want. Even if you want to come up with a different type of hairstyle that no one's ever done, we are comfortable with doing it all. And you're not allowed to be a barber in here unless you're on that level. We've had a couple guys come through here and they do good, man. Some of them had a lot of potential, have a lot of potential. And but to be in here at this time, just because we're just starting out, we've been here for about 4 months now. We want to make sure that 4 months, man. July 4th was 4 months, so we're coming up on 5. And I don't know, we just want to make sure that, let's say if I'm busy, I'm booked up, and you need to get a haircut that day, like, you can come in here, rest assured that no matter whose chair you sit in, the quality of cut you'll get with me, the quality of cut you'll get with Vinny. We got Matthew, we have Fabio, and we have Albert. The quality of cut that you'll get with any of these guys is all going to be the same. The service, the treatment, all that stuff is going to be just the same. Like, we have a high standard in here. And I feel like that's important for when you run a shop.
Bruh, man, that's important because sometimes when you walk into a new spot, like I was saying earlier, you don't know how people cut, man. You feel like you're rolling the dice a little bit.
Yep.
You know, so that's like very reassuring to know that everybody's on point. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, no matter who you go to, you're going to get exactly what you need, man. Because I've been through some things. I'd have people have my hairline over here and all kinds of stuff, man.
Crazy,
so like,
that's crazy.
So that's big, man, because like growing up, man, your hair, like, that was like everything. Because, you know, I've been through so many different types of styles, from high top fade to, you know, regular fade. Now I keep it simple, pretty simple now. You know what I'm saying? But that's the way your hair looks, man, that's a big deal.
It matters. It matters.
It's a big
it changes
deal,
yourself.
bro.
But they say the hair and the beard is the man's makeup.
Yeah.
Especially the beard, obviously. But the hair for sure, man. Like, if you have a bad haircut, yo, you're going to be down for 2 or 3 weeks. So that's why it's important, man. Like, I know it because I've been a barber personally. I've been a barber for 3 years. And when I first moved here to Florida, I've been here in Florida for 8 years now. I grew up north, moved to Brazil. Up north in Massachusetts, I moved to Brazil for a while. Then I came here to Florida. When I first came here, man, to find a barber, like, anytime I thought I found one, it would be like a good first haircut, and then the next one it would just be junk. And I'm just like, all right, man. Then finally I found one in the barbershop that I had finally found, and like the barber that I had and stuff like that. They were a big reason of why I even got into barbering. But so I just wanted to be able to always provide that, and worked at that shop for a little bit. And then things worked out to where I ended up coming in here. Just with life, you know, as you're always seeking progress, you're seeking changes and stuff like that. You'll be presented opportunities, and you just gotta jump on it. And
so this wasn't a kid thing, like you wanted to be a barber as a kid.
No. I would say for like a little bit in my teenage years, yeah. Like obviously, I don't know if like most city kids go through that phase where you want to cut your friends' hairs and stuff like that. So I went through a little bit of that phase, but not. Most of my life I worked in the service industry. So I was around restaurants, cars, stuff like that. I didn't fully commit to deciding to be a barber until I was like 28, and I'm 31 now, about to be 32.
So damn, that's fairly new, huh?
Fairly new, yeah.
So how do you feel the service industry helped you transition into this?
A lot, because it's like it's very universal. Like how you treat clients and how you kind of carry yourself as a professional. It's very, very universal. And I feel like in a way though, it actually kind of gave me a one-up on some of the barbers, because some guys, they do want to get into it like fresh from the jump. Like as soon as they're kids, they want to be a barber. So they don't go through that like corporate training. To like where you have to understand like the customer service aspect. You have to understand how to talk, how to treat people, how to prioritize certain things. And if you do need to kind of take yourself out of a position, there's a way to go about it. If you want to kind of maneuver conversations a certain way, there's a way to go about it. And I feel like you don't get that advantage when you're going straight into barbering, because you go into some of these stereotypical barbershops and they don't have the best customer service. They don't have the best way of treating you. It's kind of every man for himself. You don't know how to work in a team. You don't know how to kind of understand that you'll achieve what you want by also helping others achieve what they want. So there's a lot of corporate, like there's a lot of training you'll get in the corporate world that I feel like a barbershop doesn't necessarily offer, especially when you work in a shop that's booth rent. Because when you're booth rent, no one like, I mean, obviously you might go into those barbershops where they are a team, even though they each pay rent and stuff like that. They like each other, they get along great. But then you also have a lot of barbershops that I've been into where they pay booth rent, and you can kind of feel the climate in there. It's like, it's like very like, I don't know, they're all like kind of aggravated, maybe don't get along with each other. Maybe dude over here doesn't like the barber that sits over here. And he's been taking too many clients today, and like it just kind of creates that whole atmosphere. Which as like here, our main priority from the jump was like, man, if I don't care, like if I've already cut 2 people and you're sitting there, you've only cut 1, I'm gonna give the next one to you and stuff like that. And I like my role here from the beginning has always been like, since that's the other thing too. Most of our barbers are Brazilian. Actually, all of our barbers are Brazilian. So English isn't like the first language here for them. And I mean, we've been blessed so far to where I would say about like 80 to 90% of our clients are Brazilian. So that's the other advantage that we had is they can come in here, they can speak Portuguese with us. Even the dudes that speak Spanish, stuff like that. You just know you're gonna get the haircut that you want. Versus like a lot of times Brazilians would go into some of these shops that they spoke nothing but Spanish. And even though it's like a similar language, it's not all the same. So sometimes they would explain a haircut, wouldn't get it because the language barrier. But in being one of the people that speaks both Portuguese and English, I would run the shop from the beginning and kind of like help out up front and help get clients in and kind of redirect clients. And so even though like, in the beginning I was making kind of similar to what these guys were, I still wouldn't mind being able to be like, nah, man, like let me kind of pass over guys to you guys as well too, because at the end of the day, we all need to get paid, man. We're all here working for the same reason. Like I'm a dad, Fabio next to me is a dad, and then everyone in here has a significant other. They have a life that they're trying to create. So I don't want to take from someone, and because I don't know, I feel like you don't get anywhere in life when you do that.
I feel you.
I feel like the more that you take, the more is going to be taken from you. That's kind of how I feel about it.
Yeah, giving, bro.
Yeah.
Give to get. Give to get for sure. And you know, you guys speaking Portuguese, that kind of puts you in like a niche. You know. So
first Brazilian barbershop in Fort Myers, man. First one.
That's dope.
First one.
That's dope.
The one and only. But we also cater to everyone else. Like I'm working with the guys so they can learn English. They're doing a really good job with like studying as well too, because they're like fresh from Brazil as well too, man. Like they're new here. and they were just blessed with the opportunity to come into this awesome shop, man. And like I don't say that for me. I manage it. I don't own it. Like I'm also like in a very blessed position to be able to work here. So and they recognize that, man, and they're trying to grow better. But I'll always try to. I mean, you see, you come in here, you don't speak Portuguese. I always try to make sure you feel comfortable, man. Like if we're talking in Portuguese for whatever reason, sometimes we'll just go into like certain conversations. And I'll translate it. I'm like, oh man, this is what we're talking about, this and that, just so like you're in the loop. Like if you see us laughing or whatever, if you see them laughing, I'm like, I don't want you to sit there and think that we're talking about you.
And that also makes me want to learn, like, cause I've done some traveling, and it's opened my mind up to other languages, and I just want to be able to communicate better with everyone.
Yeah.
You know? So coming in here, it kind of sparked that for me. Like, damn, I need to learn some more Portuguese because my only what word am I looking for? My only reference of Portuguese has been through martial arts, because I'm heavily into martial arts. Watch a lot of UFC, and of course there's tons of Brazilian champions and Brazilian jiu-jitsu, and I got into capoeira pretty heavily at one point. I actually have a book one of my friends gave me. It's like it teaches you Portuguese through capoeira. Oh,
no kidding. So like the fight styles and stuff like that.
Yeah,
like the words.
I need to read more of it, but just being in here, that made me want to kind of go back to that. When I walk in here, I'm like, man, I want to be able to communicate with him and him and him. You said a lot of guys are fresh. Fresh from Brazil. So I'm like, that language barrier. I don't really want that language barrier to be here. I really want us to feel each other.
Yeah, like flow into conversation.
Yeah, flow into conversation. Get to know one another, and keep that energy of like that family and community. And communication is everything. Yes, in relationships. So coming here has made me want to get deeper into learning Portuguese.
It's tough, man. Learning a new language, especially once you're like older. Yo, it's hard.
Tell me about it, because I've been to Spanish countries. I went to Haiti, so Haitian Creole. So now I'm like trying to learn all these at 38.
It's not easy.
I'm like, bro, I guess I just gotta stick to one and then learn that one. But yeah, man, it really makes me want to communicate more coming in here. So
yeah, that's awesome, man.
Even if I could just come in here and I pay attention to like when people come in here, what they're saying and how they're greeting everybody, and I'm like, I'm gonna start saying that when I come in here.
You come in just be like, oi, tudo bem? Like, hey, how you doing? Yeah. And I mean, you'll definitely pick up on it. I'll teach you. Like I help the guys out here with English as well too. That's why I know it's like hard, and like I never understood how hard English is to learn. Because growing up, like at home we spoke Portuguese, but obviously once I started going to school, it was nothing but English. So like I kind of grew up learning both, so I didn't really like understand or appreciate the how tough it is. And then with my wife, and then with the guys in here, just teaching them how to speak certain things in English, how to say certain words, how one word can have like 5 different meanings to it, depending on the context that you put it in. It's like little things like that you don't pay attention to when you know how to talk it, because it flows, like it just comes out. But hey man, we'll be happy to teach you, and spend enough time in here, you'll pick up on a couple things.
Oh yeah. I wanted to ask you, when you made that transition from the service industry into this industry, how did you gain the confidence to kind of leap into something new? Because you did that for so long.
Yeah. Man, I would say, I don't know. Like it's something that I've always done. I've never fully settled into one particular job or one particular like career path. For a while, I was kind of that person that like I jumped from job to job, to the point where like when I told my wife that I wanted to go to barber school and become a barber, she kind of had that little moment of like, because like I've done so much stuff. Like I mean, within the service industry itself, like within the restaurant industry, I've done different things. I've done different things within the car industry, like whether it's from auto body to detailing to window tinting to car audio to installing windshields, to like wiring. Man, I've worked on laundry machines, like commercial laundry machines, did residential for a little bit. So like I always just had it in me to where like I like challenges.
Yeah.
But it definitely is like that moment, like when you're in that switch where you're just kind of like, oh, man, like is this gonna work? Especially when I was younger, I didn't care, bro.
Yeah.
When I was young, I'm just gonna do this new thing. I'm gonna learn this new skill. But then like as you get older, and then especially with barbering, because I already had my daughter, and she was like young, and we were like in that point of our life where like I'm sure other people have gone through this as well too, where like you're not really sure like what's gonna work.
Yeah.
Like you're in that transition period, like, oh man, like now I'm an adult, like
yeah.
Like when you're married and you're adult together, it's different. Like it's just you and your significant other. But then when you got like a kid, you're like, yo, bro, like I remember driving home from the hospital, man. We're looking in the back of the car, and I'm like, hey, like they let us leave, like like we're allowed to leave with this little kid right here and just now figure it out. And like I felt like we were still kids, man. And so
it's up to you.
Exactly.
It's up to you, bro.
So like going from I was working at what was I doing before I went to barber school? I was in between two jobs before I went to barber school. I think I was working at a glass company. I won't say the name, but I was working at a glass company doing windshield installation. And then for me to be able to kind of go through barber school and have a more flexible time schedule, I went back into commercial laundry equipment, and I did that while I was going to the barber school. And even just kind of going back into that job, because that's one thing I don't like to do. I don't like to backtrack. Like anytime I do something, I try to like advance and go forward. So like I had to deal with that mental state of going back into a job and then doing something new at the same time. And like, bro, like I have on my Instagram, there was a day where I took apart, I think it was 5 machines. I had to change everything out of the washer. And then I started that at like 11 in the morning, 12 in the morning. And I had to be at the barber school for 5. So like it was just like a whole mindset of like doing 2 different things, and I wanted to dive into barbering, but I don't know, man. The confidence thing is just something you have to build it. Like it's something you have to tell yourself. Aside from like you'll have that feeling inside of you, like man, like am I really gonna be able to do this? Like you'll have those doubts, but you just have to consistently tell yourself, like, nah, man, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna be good and it's gonna work out. You have to, man, because if you don't think like that, no one else is gonna think like that for you.
For real.
Like as my wife, as much as I love her, like she had her doubts that I had to kind of step in and play that role of like 100% confident, like no, it's gonna work out, even though I was doubtful inside because I didn't want both of us to be in that doubt state. And friends and stuff like that, as much as like you might have friends that will probably like root for you and stuff like that, they're not gonna be the ones that are going to be doing all the hustle that you have to do, go to barber school, work during the day, learn how to cut hair, mess up haircuts, kind of take I don't know if you want to pause it real quick, edit.
No, it just went there. It didn't pause.
All right. But yeah, just go through that transition of just that hustle, man. Like literally, like for you to learn, for you to progress, no one's going to do it for you. So you kind of just have to put that in your mind. And you gotta put the victim mentality aside. I feel bad for me inside, or like, oh, this is too much. Like, I don't know. I feel like as a man, it's just easier to understand that. Like once you start, and I've just always had that. My bad, I went on a little bit of a tangent there, but
all good.
Honestly, yeah, confidence is just you have to build it. You have to be the one that builds it. You have to take from others that are confident. You have to look at other people that you can look up to. Other people that have done it, I would say that's the major thing. I was blessed to have a lot of good people in my life.
That's good.
Within that phase that like they were business owners themselves, they were entrepreneurs themselves. And like I would see their struggles, and you can like once you start to see that a lot of people have similar struggles and they've made it, then like there's really no more excuses.
Yeah, that's some reassurance for you.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the what is it, the 5-minute mile or whatever. That story in itself, where it's like no one had ever done it, and all of a sudden one guy does it, and boom, next thing you know, now you got like 50 people doing it. And it's like, what happened to it was impossible.
Exactly. It's all impossible until you show that it's not. That's for sure. So fatherhood, you talking about your daughter. How is that? Well, how has she helped you become a better businessman?
Man, a lot. A lot. Prioritizing, managing,
knowing that you have to provide.
You have to.
You know,
patience as well too, man. I would say that fatherhood. I mean, you're a dad yourself. I know you know.
Patience is big.
You have to, man. You have to learn how to be patient, man. Because them kids, bro, Like if you got a newborn right now yourself and you're holding that newborn, you think, oh man, it's so cute, and then just wait, just wait until they're 1, 2, 3. Like my daughter's about to be 4 right now, and I hear from people that have kids that are older, so I know how it's like. You have to have that patience, but you're gonna be tested. But it works out. Like the kid teaches you pretty much how to raise them in a way.
Yeah.
You kind of work with their personality. That's the other thing too. You have to appreciate the fact that they have their own personality. Don't try to mold that kid to be who you are. They're not gonna.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, that's huge.
Mm-hmm.
That's real huge because now as my son grows, he's about to be 2, and as I watch him grow, I see his personality develop more and more. But then I also see the things that he kind of absorbs from me and takes on. And I'm like, this is good the way it is. I don't have to turn him into me.
Nope. No, that's the thing. Like he'll pick up on a lot from you. Like obviously, like we are their foundation. Like we're the ones that they kind of learn from and then progress from there. But they have their own personality. Like they're gonna do things you don't like them to do. They're gonna do things that you like that they do and stuff like that. And it's just have to work with it. So being in a business like this, working around people, working with people, it kind of teaches you that like, all right, like that dude that's how he is. So like it kind of helps you navigate. Whereas like I feel like when you start to get into a business world, like especially in the corporate world, you kind of want everyone to do things the way that you do it. That doesn't exist, bro. No one's gonna do everything the way that you want them to do it exactly.
Yeah.
Set standards. That's what I do with my kid. I set standards for her. I kind of put rules in place for her and stuff like that. And then she's gonna go about doing it the way that she does it. But at the end of the day, as long as I get the results, then that's what matters.
No doubt. Yeah, my son, he's teaching me, I won't say teaching me, but he's giving me like this drive that I've never had before, like for business and for making things happen and providing, just I don't want to say like an easier life, but one that has less struggle than I dealt with, So he's showing me a lot, man. He's giving me something to wake up every day and just go and get it.
Yeah. I feel like they give us, like as a father, they give us that like sense of like, man, I need to create like generational wealth.
Yeah.
Like I need to create something that he's gonna be good with because you want to break that cycle, man. You want to break the cycle. I'm sure like many of us have gone through when we were younger, where like your parents didn't really set you up, and being poor was kind of just the thing. And that was it. You were either like poor, middle class, or whatever. Like you just had enough money to maybe get by, but I don't know. You got to break that cycle and kind of just like have things in place, especially mindset. Like, mindset's a big thing.
Yeah, because I feel like I could put him in a position where he doesn't have to like bare bones build it from the ground up. You know what I'm saying? I can give him, a little nudge, like, hey man, give him a little extra.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Give him something so he can have a better head start.
Exactly. It's kind of like what's that race where they pass the little pole or whatever? Like they pass that. Man, I forgot what the name of that race is called, but it's kind of like
4x4?
Like, is it the 4x4 where like you're running around the track and then you hand off the flag or you hand off that little like stick or whatever?
Relay.
The relay. Yeah, relay. So you just kind of, life is just kind of like a relay, man, and you kind of have to, like, same as I'm sure our parents try to do their best they could to kind of get us into a position where like we didn't have to start from where they started, and then now it's just our goal, our job in a way, to kind of do that for our kids. Like my daughter, I can tell you right now, even as young as she is, and then for my other kids that we have, none of them are gonna go through like probably any of the stuff that I went through, but that's intentional.
And that's another thing you have to realize, like just when you're bringing your kid up, because sometimes you can have like those same expectations with them of like the way you grew up, but you have to understand like, no, they're growing up a totally different way than I did.
Bro, it's a whole nother world right now.
Sometimes you can get caught up in how you came up and like put that off on them. But it's like, bro, I'm creating this new life so they don't have to go through that. So sometimes I have to remind myself, like, he's not gonna come up like I did. Nope. He might not be like as hardened as I am through all the hardships that I've had to endure. Not saying that he won't be hardened through other things, But
you gotta be the one to harden him.
Yeah,
that's just it. Like you gotta with less pain, less pain and less struggle. But they learn. Like I know for a fact that, like, I have good examples of friends of mine that have kids, like kids that are already like kind of grown, and you just see the type of parent that they are.
Yeah.
And then you can tell like how their kids turn out, and they probably came from a struggling background where they probably were involved with things that weren't good stuff, but they grew out of it, and then they just kind of teach their kids, and their kids get lessons out of it. Obviously, there will be lessons that they will have to go through personally. Like they're gonna have to personally fall a few times. And,
oh yeah, that's bro. I really noticed that. See, that's my way of hardening him, like letting him kind of fall on his face.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Making sure he doesn't fall too far.
Yeah.
But really letting him experience.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like experience life. Like if we go outside and he's messing around with something, and sometimes I may be like, don't do that, or sometimes I'm just like, let him see. I'm gonna let him learn. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you really want to go and save him.
Yep.
You know, but sometimes I have to just dial my hand back and be like, I gotta let him go through this.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Even if it, is painful for him in that moment, he's not gonna forget it.
Nope.
You know what I'm saying? Because I can't save him from reality.
Nope.
You know,
man.
I can't shelter him from the world. I have to prepare him to deal with the world.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's gonna throw things at him, that he's gonna have to be able to take on.
Yep.
He can't let these things crush him.
No.
Once they come across his path, and that's a biggie for me to kind of, that's what I want to mold,
mm-hmm.
Within him, be able to get through adversity, because he's definitely going to need that, especially as a man, So that's like one of my biggest goals, with my son, bro, is to harden him in a sense where he's not getting crushed by life.
Yeah. Because it can easily happen, man.
Oh yeah, it can. It can.
I've seen it plenty of times with kids that were just too baby, man, and
mm-hmm.
I kind of feel bad for them in a way, but then most of them are also at that age where you're just like, bro, come on, man. Like, I feel like your parents are responsible for you up until you're about 18,
mm-hmm.
and then after 18, like, you may still live with them, they still have their obligations with you and stuff like that, but then at that point on, like, you got to kind of start to like stay hardened and stop blaming other people for your struggles, and just get ready, because your life comes at you.
No doubt.
I don't care who you are, man. I don't care how successful you are, how much money you have. Life is gonna come at you, and it comes hard. Like it doesn't come at you easy, man. It'll definitely shake you, mold you, change you, break you down, build you back up. Does all that stuff.
And you gotta be willing to go through all those phases of it, and get back on your feet every time.
Yes, sir.
You gotta get back up every time, because the world can beat you down if you let it.
Yep.
But you gotta have that resilience.
You gotta tangle with it, man. You gotta fight with it. You gotta let it kind of beat you down, but then beat it back up at the same time.
Right. You gotta show it. All right, you might have beat me down a little bit, but you gotta keep showing it this consistency of, I'm gonna keep getting back up.
Yep.
And
that, to me personally, that's where faith comes in.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I feel like without God, and this is just me personally speaking on my behalf, but I feel like personally deep down inside, without God, you can't do it on your own. I've tried. Bro, let me tell you, it does not work.
I'm there, man.
It does not work. You are not strong enough. Let's just say that. You on your own, you are not strong enough.
And, I wanted to segue into that, man, because I feel like now I have more of a concrete relationship with God than like ever before. Because I'm coming across these realizations, because I've tried to do things myself for so long, and just keep falling on my face, and I've fallen enough times where I'm like, you know what, you got it.
Yeah.
It's like you got it. I'm just gonna sit here. I'm gonna listen.
Yep.
I'm gonna do what I need to do, and I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna put trust in you. I'm gonna put my faith in you. That you're going to guide me on the right path. And really leave it at that, man. I've found a way to kind of simplify things for myself, man, and that's just trusting God, bro.
Yeah, because that's the main goal. Because a lot of people misconstrue. They think that like if you kind of trust in God, give your life to Him and stuff like that, He's just gonna kind of, all right, let's go. Let me walk you over all this stuff and like all the bad stuff is happening. Nah, bro. Like, you're still gonna go through all the bad stuff. It's just now you have the strength for it. Like, now it's kind of like, think of yourself when you were younger and like you were a kid and maybe you're going through a rough crowd, and like there's people that like you're looking at, like they're all taller than you, and like, man, what am I gonna do? Like, how am I gonna make it through this?
Mm-hmm.
But then there's your dad or your mom or whatever, like to kind of just like, hey, here's our hand. Let's just walk through it together. Like, you're gonna get bumped into, you're gonna still be a little shaken up, still a little bit scared, but I got this. Like, I'm gonna be the one charging in front. That's kind of what God does, man. Like, he just kind of just give it up to him, and he's gonna still put you through those adversities, because I truly believe that our story is not for us. Like, I truly, like what you're doing right now, this podcasting, like this is very important, because our story is not for us. Like, our story, the things that we go through, God trusted us enough to go through like those adversities and that stuff, to where we can kind of, now he can use us to talk to other people, reach out to other people, and help them get through what they need to get through, because maybe they don't have someone in their life that kind of, like, maybe I don't know who you had in your life or whatever, but maybe they're not able to get people into their lives to speak to them, speak life into them.
Yeah.
And that's one of the big things now with social media that I love, man, is you're able to reach so many people.
Yeah.
And like, this is like kind of going back to what you were saying, like our kids are not in the same time frame, not in the same time as us. It's because of stuff like this, man. Like, technology nowadays is crazy. But it's also a blessing if you use it like the correct way.
Yeah, it's that utilization, how you utilize it for real.
Man, like I feel like people nowadays have even less of an excuse. Like, back then, yeah, like there was no Google. Like, if you wanted to learn certain trades, certain things, certain mindsets, like you had to know the right people. You had to read books.
Yeah, you had to go search it out for real. You had to go search it out, get your hands dirty, find out what it's about. You didn't have all these, you didn't have so many resources to show you how things are beforehand. You had to go seek it out. You may have heard word of mouth, but you had to go and see what it was about.
Exactly.
Yeah,
nowadays you can go on here, you can listen to people like Kevin Hart, who has a good, successful mindset, teaches you a lot of things that how you need to think. You can go on here and listen to certain things from Steve Harvey, because he has a good mindset from it. You can listen to people like Pastor Furtick, Stephen Furtick, who's good. You can listen to your own local pastor as well too, because they're probably on either YouTube or Spotify or something, and like so on and so forth, man. Like, you have so many military people that are successful in their life nowadays, and they kind of just teach you. So it's just up to you now to just kind of, like, me personally, man, there'll be days I'll be in here, I have like these open ear headphones, so I can still hear everything that's going on. But sometimes I'll just have an audiobook going, or I'll have a podcast going, stuff like that, just to make sure I'm like still in that correct mindset.
No doubt. And I'm glad you said that, because, bro, what you feed yourself is so important, man.
And your brain is a computer,
bro. and I've realized, because it goes both ways. It goes both ways, and I've fed myself, or I've fed my mind things that I really didn't need, and I really started to take that on and really implement it in my life, and on the other hand, I've done things, that are enriching my life. So I think now at this particular time, I'm only trying to absorb what's going to enrich me, and not the latter anymore, because I know how important it is. I know how influential that stuff is, what you feed your mind, man. You become exactly what you feed yourself, bro.
Yep.
Yeah,
what is done in the dark will always come to the light, man.
No doubt. Always. No doubt, man. But what else have you learned as far as what God is teaching you, what God is showing you on your particular path? What are some of the new discoveries that you're discovering about yourself, up to this present point?
My potential definitely is a big thing, man. Like, I feel like a lot of the people that end up having some of the most success in life, they're always the ones that doubt themselves the most. I've kind of learned that it's kind of a pattern with just people that I kind of seek out and listen to. And man, I would say one of the biggest things that God had to work with me on was depression, self-doubt, self-hate. I'd be always the first one to put myself down. And it's weird, man. It's weird when like things are working out in your life and you have people that like look up to you, and you have like a kid now, and like there's people that they'll straight up look you in the face and be like, man, like you got this, like you're good enough for it, like, oh, you're gonna achieve these things in life because you just have that in you, and like you're like listening to that, it's like going into your brain, but you're just kind of like in deep down inside like, nah, bro, like this is all not gonna work out for me because of this or whatever, like whatever junks, kind of like what you were just saying, like whatever junks in your mind. And I feel like that's, I mean, as I'm going through it, working with God, my biggest thing that I'm working with him on now is having him understand me, and then also allowing me to understand better who he is. And in doing so, I'm trying to kind of just, how can I say this, like repair my past. Because like growing up, I think that's, it's funny, like even though I'm 31 now, like there's things that affect me mentally now, stuff that I went through when I was like young, like a kid, like in my, from 5 all the way up until like 17, 18, 19, stuff like that. And so I would say like that's the biggest thing is him working with me on that, understanding my full capabilities, who I am in him. Because that's just kind of like when people say like, oh, who I am in God, like who I am with like having like Jesus by my side, it's not like that you change per se. I mean, obviously you change, that comes and stuff like that, but I feel like just working with him just kind of brings your full potential out of you. It's kind of like someone else can look at you right now, and maybe you'll have those days where, I don't know, you're not as far along as you want to be with this stuff and whatnot, but they look at you like, bro, like you have the potential for this, like you have it in you, stuff like
happened. That has happened because, bro, I have a lot of doubts with this stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and sometimes I think to myself, I'm like, is this shit gonna work? You know, is this gonna work? Am I doing the right things? You know, is this gonna have the impact? Is this gonna have the impact that I would like? You know, I go through that stuff. You know,
and pretty much just doing it with God, man. Like he's just the one that's there, like always in your brain. Like, yeah, man, I got it. I just try to look at it now. Like one of the things that he's kind of spoken through me in prayer is, if I put that thought in your mind, stop doubting it. Like if I put like I know, because God already sees us. Like he's already seeing you with like over 1 million views and I don't know how many hundreds of thousands of subscribers and stuff like that. Like he already sees that in his timeline. Now he's just working with you in this current timeline and kind of getting that in your brain. And I truly believe, truly believe, and it can be for whatever you're doing in life. If you're a financial person, if you're a podcaster, a barber, if you're a business owner, whatever it is, if God put that dream in your mind, yo, just build it. Because he's not going to give that, like someone right now, I mean, for example, like even us in here as barbers, we all have different goals that we want to achieve. Like my goal is different from his goal, but whatever ideas, whatever dreams he has in his mind, he's got to work off of that because that's his potential. That's where he's gonna do better. That's where God's gonna get into exactly where he wants to go. And it's completely different from what God like put in me. Like I honestly, and it's kind of weird, kind of just open up a little bit, but deep down inside, like I know that from things that God has spoken to me through other people and even just to myself personally, is like I'm gonna be in a position one day where I'm gonna have a ministry, and that is way different than barbering. And like when I remember when it first kind of touched my heart a little bit, like this is when I first gave my life back to Christ. He kind of implanted that. Like I had this like little like insight of like you're gonna be a pastor. I'm like what? Like if you know about my past, you know about where I came from and how my mindset was and the things that I enjoyed like partaking in, and I'm like, bro, no, like not me. And
but you know, that's probably more the reason that that's gonna be a fit for you.
Yeah, like I said, going back to from what I came to understand later on down the road is your story's not your story. Like it's not for you. And then like now, little by little, every year that goes on, it's like I just ask God, I'm like, yo, just show me what's the next thing I need to do. Like, and that's all you can ask for. You can't show me how to do it. Like, you can't ask for like everything. Like, he's not gonna lay it all out for you at once. But you're just like, just show me what the next thing is, and then give me the strength and the wisdom to like understand that is the next thing. So like even the transitioning, what you were asking about, like transitioning into barbering, like I feel like he knew my heart. He knew like where I wanted to get to eventually in life. And the next thing was me switching from the service industry into cutting hair. And then I started off at a specific barbershop where I thought I was going to be at for a while. And then he was like, no, like you're going to do this on your own a little bit, doing house calls. And then doing house calls, kind of presenting myself as best as I could with that. had a client of mine reach out to the owner here before he opened up this place, and he's like, "Yo, come here, come cut my hair, whatever." And then with just like the person that God had made me up until that point as a professional, and as like I put love into my craft. With me, it was always about like the experience. Whenever you get a haircut, because just the haircut itself, anyone can pick up a pair of clippers and learn how to cut hair. Go on YouTube. YouTube nowadays will teach you pretty much everything.
Mm-hmm.
But with me, it was all about the experience, man. Like with me, I wanted to make sure that I went to your house, I cut your hair, and when I left, it was almost like I wasn't even there. Like I have a barber chair that comes in like a suitcase. So like when I would show up at your house, you'd think I'll be moving in or something like that. So all amount of stuff that I had a little table that I would bring, a backpack, a side bag, a light, vacuum cleaner, like everything. And the owner, he actually told me about it like as a little bit after time after we were open. He's like, man, that's what made the difference though. He's like, that's what made me really want to reach out to you, because I could tell like you put the effort in. And I knew that like me personally, yeah, like who I am inside, my potential. At that point, I already knew that I had it in me to be that difference. And then I believe that that's what God does. Like he kind of puts you through those trials in life to kind of like get better, progress, learn from your mistakes, learn from different situations in life, and he kind of builds you up from there.
Yeah.
To be the person that you will be.
You gotta learn not to be so hard on yourself as you're going through those processes.
That's tough,
because it's necessary.
It's tough.
And I can relate, man, because I'm very tough on myself. You know, sometimes I gotta check myself as well, and that's why I make it a point to always be reflective, so I can see like, all right, you've done that, this, you know, and I have to have those constant reminders to myself, you know, to go through this process. Like it's all good. Like you're doing enough, you know, because a lot of times I feel like I'm not doing enough, and then when I look at everything I'm doing, I'm like, damn, you're doing a lot. You know,
a lot, bro.
So it's like kind of fighting against those little mind games that can be played on you.
You have to, man. You have to, because and it goes both ways. Like your past can either haunt you, and it can either like be that thing in the back of your mind. Like even if you have achieved a lot of things, you can go into those little moments where it can be like, man, but like this is who you were. This is what else has also happened to you, and like that.
Bro, that's a biggie, man.
And yo, that transition from using that to like, yeah, but that's where I came from. And that's how much I've grown. Like, bro, that little switch right there to switch it from this is who I am to I've grown past that. Now this is who I is, bro. That switch, it takes a lot of effort, man.
Bro, and I could say that just like even in this present time, like sometimes that stuff tries to come back to haunt me, you know, of like what I've done, and I have to remind myself, I'm like, bro, that's not you. That's who you were. You know, so you really have to keep reminding yourself of these things, man. Reminding yourself of where you are now, man. That past stuff may have been something that got you to this point, you know, even if it was, you know, good or bad, but you got to accept that and really move forward to like who you are becoming, who you're constantly becoming, man.
I think even like going back in the conversation, I think a lot of that has to do with our environment. Like how, like we were just talking a little bit before we started recording, we're talking about music and stuff like that. And man, I remember like my friends and I, like our culture was always like around hip hop, rap, like the streets, and like drug dealing was glorified. And like the women was glorified, and all this stuff was always glorified. And you get into that mindset of like, yo, this is the stuff that matters. And I deeply, truly feel that even with the problems in today's day and age, there's too much light put onto that stuff. Like, bro, you got too many people that are artists that are putting music out that should not be putting music out. Like, I'm sorry for whatever y'all think, but people like what's her face, Sexy Red, Cardi B, Megan Thee Stallion, Roddy Ricch, the Migos, like all this stuff, bro. They're all putting music out there that like, yo, that sticks in your head. Like it for a temporary moment, unless you allow it to be for a while, it pretty much makes you who you are. Because those are words that you're just repeating and you're programming into yourself, and those are the things that how life should be. But it's like one of the things that kind of helped me understand that at a young age, which is when I started paying attention to like other people, is I started to see people come from a similar environment that I did, similar lifestyle that I like to be. All right, guys, come on, let me show you a quick walkthrough of our shop. So you can see here, Bravo's Barbershop. Come on in. And as you come in, this will always be a motorcycle area. We don't have one here currently because the last one we just had was just sold. So anytime you walk in, you can always expect to see a motorcycle or two here. We do have a front desk reception area. This is where you're gonna cash out, pay for your haircut, all that stuff. You got the TV up there that kind of shows you everything that we do, from haircuts to eyebrows to beards to facials to ear wax to remove those pesky little hairs in your ear, to nose wax as well too, so we can remove all those little nose hairs. Right here, as you can see, we got a refrigerator, so complimentary water, beer, and Coke, whatever you may need. We are an authorized level 3 dealer, so we do sell pretty much everything that level 3 offers. So if you need anything for your hair, your beard, we got it in stock. We also sell minoxidil, which is big for those guys that are trying to get their hair growth back or just kind of strengthen their hair as well too, the one that they already have. This is our salon area, or the barbershop area, I should say. This is where pretty much all the work happens. We got currently 5 barbers right now on busy days. Most days though, we'll have 3. We got TVs that always have different sports playing on them. With our shave too, we also offer hot towel shaves. That's usually how we do all of our shaves. It's empty right now. We fill it up every morning. But this will warm up the towels for you. They all have essential oil in them, so it smells good and it's good for your skin. And then after the hot towel shave, we like to give you a cold towel. This also has essential oils on it as well too, eucalyptus. This just kind of helps prevent any skin irritation, and this also just kind of revamps you up once you're done laying down and getting a shave. We got foosball table going, so if you want to kind of just come play with your friends, hang out for a little bit while you're waiting for your haircut, or if you just want to come in as well too. We got a little lounge area right next to the PlayStation 5 area. We got video game going there right now. We do have the racing simulator as well too. You can play a little bit of Gran Turismo or some drifting games. And soon enough, I'm gonna have a retro game setup here as well too. So you'll be able to play PlayStation 1, 2, Nintendo, all that fun stuff from back in the day. And here we have our shampoo area. So if you need a hair wash or anything like that, it is included in the service with any haircut. You can just come back here and we'll wash your hair for you if you got to go to a date or go to a meeting or something somewhere. That's pretty much it. That's our shop. Look forward to meeting you guys, man. All right, we're back now.
Well, technical difficulties, it happens.
Yeah, when you're putting out good word and something that may change someone's life, it usually happens this way.
All
part
right.
of it.
So we were talking about music and
how it plays a role and
the influence.
Well, that's it, man. You just gotta look for the people that made it out of that's what I did. I looked for the people that made it out of something that I went through, and just I don't know, just stayed consistent with it. Allowed them to actually speak to me, because you can have a lot of people like talk to you, whatever, and like they may say some things, but like you need to actually take it in. I feel like that's where that's one of the things that changed a lot for me personally. Even just as being a barber, like till this day, cutting hair and stuff like that, I will go out there and I will seek out on whether it's like YouTube or people that I meet personally, like what they do for their craft, whether it's barbering or business, something like that. Like every day I try to learn from someone. Just maybe a little thing that I might hear that one day it's like, man, like I could be struggling with a certain situation, like how to maneuver a certain way, and then that person will say one little thing that just kind of clicks it, makes it all click into place. Like, yeah, that's how I should have been thinking. That's how I should have been going about it.
Yeah, man, because I ran into one of my homies yesterday at the gym, man, and I was thinking about him like the day before I ran into him. I ended up running into him, bro, because I was going through some things and I was like, I was asking God, I was like, send me some opportunity, and of course I have to make sure that I see it when it's sent to me, and I really do my best to like cultivate the correct people around me. So I'm always asking, only send these people in my direction. Yeah. Repel the other ones, repel the other people, keep them away. But after I had recently asked for that, I ran into him, man, and he had a situation as well, and we just ended up helping out one another, move forward in life, man. So that's very big to really have the intention of what you want
Mm-hmm.
in your life. What you want to attract. And going back to music, when you're listening to certain music that's giving off a certain frequency, that's why it's so influential. Because those frequencies are really hitting you and they're really affecting you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's kind of like what I was saying earlier, man. Like you could be, maybe you're in that similar type of environment, but you're not killing anyone. You're not selling drugs. You're not, but like, you'll rap to it long enough that like in your brain, it'll be like, I am a drug dealer.
Yeah.
I am a murderer. And it's like, bro, you're not. Like, you're probably 14, like similar to me. You're a 14, 15-year-old kid, and you don't actually live like that. You may be in a similar position, but you don't live like that.
Well, bro, I grew up with that, like just listening to tons of like gangster rap and stuff like that. But the problem is me and the guys that I was with, we started living like that. It wasn't just something that we were just listening to. This stuff was really like guiding us through life.
Yep.
We really thought that this is what we were supposed to be doing. This is what made you a man. This is what made you tough. You know what I'm saying? This is what made you feared by people and things like that, and it didn't turn out good for any of us on any kind of level. I was lucky enough to be like one of us that didn't like get locked up and go to prison and stuff like that, so I had to really start seeing these moments of, because it would seem like every time my homies would get into something like big, I just happened to be gone. I was either out of town, or I played a lot of sports growing up. I might have been off playing basketball with some of my other friends, because I was kind of like floating in between both lives. You know what I'm saying? Because I was over here with these guys doing productive things, and then I was over here with these guys doing unproductive things. Because I was kind of like torn between the two, because I felt like the guys over here that are doing the things that I shouldn't be doing, I felt like they were family. Because we bonded over, we pretty much bonded over doing things that we weren't supposed to be doing. All these actions that we weren't supposed to be doing, we bonded over that. And we really also bonded over like a lack of mentorship, lack of men in our lives that could really show us this positive direction. We were just kind of like figuring things out as we go. And music was like this huge guide for us, So it really made me realize that I had to really change that frequency of what I was absorbing, like musically, because, dude, it was literally becoming a reality, in my life. And to this point now, I can still listen to the same stuff now, but that's only because I have a different mindset. I can listen to the stuff, enjoy it, and I'm not gonna do it at all. You know what I'm saying? But back then,
I don't know if you find yourself like changing the song sometimes, but like there's songs that I know I used to bump like heavy. Now it'll come on, and I'm like, nah, like next.
Because it just don't feel right.
It does. It does make you like. It's kind of like how you're saying you kind of start living that life. And like I remember, I've been locked up once, and I remember the entire time, because similar to you, like I lived like that double life. Like I had to be a certain person at home with my mom, with my dad, so with even some of my friends. Like I had to act like a certain way. Maybe it was a little bit more of who I really genuinely was, and I just didn't know it. I thought it wasn't. And then obviously when I got around those friends, I had to be mad all the time, looking out behind my shoulder all the time, and just like had to have a certain personality. And so I always lived like I kind of call it's almost like a double life. Because like you're not always that person consistently, and then same thing, like whenever friends of mine would either get into fights or in trouble with like police, like badly in trouble with police, like I was always like somewhere else or always hanging out with other people. And so I can relate to that 100%. But I remember even when I was in the jail cell, like just the entire time in there, I only spent like I think it was like 2 or 3 days, something like that, maybe a week. I can't remember exactly, but I was just like, yo, this ain't me. Like, and I had people in there that I knew, like I knew from them being in the streets and stuff like that. And they saw me, and they even told me, they're like, "Yo, what are you doing in here, bro?
Mm-hmm.
Like, this ain't for you, man. Like
Mm-hmm.
you're supposed to be the one that, like, the better one out of all of us, and this and that." Because I don't know, and it just it's funny, man. It's funny how, like, life can kind of put you in those situations. It's almost like a reflection.
Yeah.
And you have to kind of, like, at that point you have to reflect and think, and you have to take that action step to, like, switch to be
Really.
different, to kind of, like, want better for yourself. And honestly, I think that that's the moments where, like, even when you're not, because at that point, like, I was so far from God, like I was so far from church or anything, any type of relationship with him, that I feel like even in those moments, that's just where he's like, what he says, like, he's our father, like that's our, like, his dad moment.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, "Nah, you're like my kid. I'm gonna let you want to keep struggling, you want to keep making these mistakes, keep messing up, bet, do it, but, like, I'm still gonna be here, like, trying to tug you out of it, trying to pull you away." And a little bit after, even the whole, like, the situation I got arrested for, which was, like, just kind of, it was assault, aggravated fight, stuff like that, like stuff that you used to hear about in songs all the time and whatnot. And a little bit after that, I ended up moving to Brazil. And man, Brazil is like, that's where my life for a little bit went, like, drastically one direction,
Mm-hmm.
but also where I think, like, I started to grow up more and kind of start to personally take myself out of it. Because I feel like it's different when there's someone trying to take you out of it, and then once you start to make that decision, like, "Nah, man, like, I'm gonna escape this lifestyle now. Like, it's not worth it. It's not worth it."
Now, let me ask you this: how did those guys take it once you started to separate yourself?
Oh, you get shit on, you get talked down to, you get kind of, nah, but what, you try to be little, like,
Mm-hmm.
all you hear, like, you hear them kind of make, and it's just, like, as I grew, I learned it's. I mean, obviously there was a lot of people too that were, like, kind of for it,
Mm-hmm.
like, "Yo, good for you," like, "Yeah, man, like, you gonna be the one to do it," and, like, they kind of, like, help you understand that, like, you are capable of it, but then you also have the ones that kind of, like, make fun of you and whatnot, like, but you just, I don't know. I think when I was old enough when I decided to do it, that it was to the point where, like, I already, like, didn't really care what people thought of me or thought about me or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That when I would hear them say what they would say, I was just like, all right, bro, whatever. Like,
Yeah.
you're good. Like, thankfully, I didn't get deep in. Like, I've tried to, like, I've been around gangs when I was younger. Thankfully, I had friends that were older than me that they did things that kind of woke me up and shook me a little bit to kind of get taken out of it, to, like, want to pursue that lifestyle 100%.
Mm-hmm.
So I would always just be around it. And then same thing even with them when I was in Brazil. It was something that, like, I was attracted to it, but I think, like, I never was, like, fully committed to it 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Where I know is, like, I've had friends in similar situations where they were, like, in it, and even till this day they can't really leave because, like, they dedicated so much of their life to it and stuff like that. And
Mm-hmm.
like, it's hard. I've seen some get out. It definitely is harder. Things have to be done, obviously, for you to be able to get out, depending on how much you know, how much time, how much commitment you put into it.
Yeah.
But it's possible. I was just blessed enough and lucky enough to where, like, I always kept, like, a foot out in a way.
Mm-hmm.
And plus, being around my wife too, like, my wife could never really, like, know 100% what I was involved in, like, my family and stuff like that. So that always kind of gave me, I cared enough about that to a point where it always kind of gave me an out of, like, no, I'm gonna hang out with you, I'm gonna do these things with you guys and stuff like that, but I can't fully commit to doing that. So
Yeah.
I think that was one of the things that, like, a lot of people, even if they didn't agree with what I wanted to do and whatnot, they were just like, all right, whatever, bet, just do you then, I guess. And cut ties with them really quickly. I cut ties with a lot of people, man. A lot of people.
I can relate to that. I feel like I really had to abandon all that.
Mm-hmm.
Even all the experiences and everything we shared, and even like the bonds that we made. It was hard, but I felt like I had to, like, completely just, like, walk away
Mm-hmm.
and get away from it.
Yeah, it's not. It's definitely not easy, man. It's like memories too.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot that I've forgotten though. There's, like, a lot that, like, to a fault actually, to where, like, I think I trained my mind so much to, like, let go of the past and, like, just, like, kind of forget it, that, like, even now till this day I'm, like, trying to rebuild that of, like, now when people come and they have conversations with me, or they have like moments with me, like now I need to retrain myself to like to like not memorize it, but to like to keep it in. Bro, because even as a barber, like I'll meet so many people in like a day or in a week. Like I'll meet like hundreds of people in a week, and sometimes I'll forget like who they are, and I like for a while I just train my mind to just let go and forget. It's like, oh, forget that person, forget this situation, forget like there's things that like I had a conversation with someone not that long ago, man, and they were telling me about things that like we did when we were younger, and I was just like, man, I don't remember any of that. Like it's crazy. I don't know, but I don't know. I think it's like a coping mechanism, I would say.
Yeah, I can see that. But yeah, if anybody out there, if you're dealing with something that you know you need to walk away from, and you're having some trouble doing it, it's just best that you completely separate yourself from it, man.
Separate yourself and look for good people. Because it's like I feel like if you just separate yourself and you don't put anything else in place to kind of take your time and occupy yourself, then you can go back just like that.
Well, that's where martial arts came in for me, is because I was able to transition from that directly into when I started getting into like Muay Thai and that whole academy. Because while I was training, I was still kind of back and forth, but then I started to realize, like, when I'm over here with these people, like, I'm really getting some real positive things done, you know, and that made my decision a lot easier, you know, after I discovered, you know, new surroundings, new people, a new environment, you know. So yeah, I definitely feel you on that.
Yeah, you have to. It's like with any addiction, man. Like that, I feel like that lifestyle is an addiction. Because it's fast, it's fun, it's rowdy, it's crazy, it's filled with things that are temporary satisfactions that you think are like that's all you need in that moment. So when you go from one extreme and then all of a sudden just stop, like you need to have things that fill in that place, man. Because if not, I've got caught myself a couple times, man, trying to fully walk away, and then there would still be little things that I would be attracted to and still try to like keep enjoying those moments. But I don't know. It's I feel like kind of like with cigarettes too. Like I used to smoke cigarettes. When you smoke and you quit, like you need to find another habit to kind of pick up in the beginning. Because a lot of times you'll be so used to like lighting one up, you're stressed out, light one up, you're drinking, light one up, you're doing whatever, light one up. And you need to find something else to kind of take that place, because otherwise you'll just keep consistently doing it. And then eventually it just gets to the point where you have to allow yourself to be strong mentally. You have to have that confidence in you to be like, nah, bro, like for me personally, like if I tell myself like I'm done with something, I have to like agree with it and keep showing myself personally that like, yeah, I can do this.
Yeah.
And I still struggle with stuff like that, man, till this day.
Yeah.
Till this
Me
day.
and you both. Me and you both, man. Sometimes that stuff is enticing, and you know that you shouldn't, but it still doesn't dismiss the fact that it's enticing.
It's enticing.
You know.
Yeah, like the killer nowadays, especially for us men, bro, I feel like is pornography. Pornography, women. You see like a bunch of these music videos that are damn near sex videos, bro.
But everything in this society is like sexually driven, so it's almost like you can't escape it from, you know, from what the media is showing you to just walking outside and the way that girls are dressed.
Yep.
You know, just being able to see everything all the time, constantly. It's like it's always in your face, man. And that's been a huge struggle for me, you know, because I feel like I got exposed to like sex and things like that way too early. And bro, it just had a humongous impact on my life as I grew from teen and into adult, man. And it has been a struggle for me as well, bro. I feel like now at this point, I'm at like the strongest I've ever been, and in the best mindset that I've ever been to like push that stuff to the side, you know, because I feel like now I really know like my pathway, what I should be doing, and not only that, but like what I have to cut out in order to get to where I really want to be. And I know if I keep continuing these acts and these practices that I'm never going to get there. I'm never gonna get to where I want to. So it's like making a choice. It's like, do I want to get there or not? You know, are these things is lust gonna be more important than my ultimate goal? Is lust more important than generational wealth for my kids? Is it more important than my mental and spiritual well-being? You know, these are the things I have to ask myself, man. And I feel like I have a good grip on that now, man, because it's been so damn hard, bro.
Okay.
It's been so hard for years and years and years to kind of beat this demon, this lust demon, you know?
What do you think? Would you say is like some of the things you're doing to kind of help you like fight? Because obviously, like I know one of the major things is you have to grow your why. Like you have to grow. When I say like your why is like your reasons, like the things you want to achieve. Obviously, like that's just not it. Like, what do you think are some of the things you're doing to kind of help you like not look at it, not watch it?
A lot of it is pure will, but I realized I had to change my perception on women in general because, you know, with it starting early, it was just women were just this sexual object that I needed to use to get my sexual pleasures out, you know. So I had to change my perspective on women in general. I have to like say if I see a woman comes by in some short shorts, we're men. We're gonna look.
Yeah.
We're gonna look.
Yeah.
We're gonna have some thoughts.
Yep.
But when I see it now, that instant thought I may have to like fall into the lust of that woman, I'm just like, I'm looking at her more than just a piece of meat, you know, for me to lust after, or for me to want to go over and start humping on, or, you know, like a dog, you know what I'm saying? So it's really, I've really had to like catch myself. Like, I think it's our nature that's been like amped up to 1,000 just because of all these influences and images over the years and ideas of what sex actually is, you know. And also a big thing was me realizing how important like retaining my seed was, unless I actually want to create a life, you know, not wasting it away, letting it drain me. Because, you know, when you're jacking off all the time and you just feel drained.
Yep.
You know, you literally are draining your life force. I had to get the idea of, yeah, this isn't just, you know, semen, but this is actual life within me. So I had to have more respect for myself as a man and what I can produce, you know, for the world, you know. And, you know, like with my kids, like that's what I can make with that. You know what I'm saying? I can literally make life that I'm now helping to, you know, get through life, you know, that I'm able to teach. You know, it's not just this this chemical that just comes out of me. You know what I'm saying? I don't look at it as
like it's like just a thing. Like it's just,
yeah, I give it more respect than I gave it before. Before it was just like, oh man, because most guys just think, oh man, I need to bust, and you know, they don't look at it from a more detailed kind of essence of like what you are as a man, as a masculine man, and, you know, what this sexual energy is actually supposed to be used for. You know what I'm saying? So I had to get an understanding on all those things, and it helped me make, you know, better decisions moving forward, you know.
That's actually really good, man. That's actually, it helps kind of put into a perspective that's like easy to understand, because it is hard, man. Like they say, like sex sells, and like when you come from like a environment like kind of how we grew up in, the same thing. Like I was exposed to it super early on. It's to the point where like if you don't kind of somehow involve yourself with it, or you don't lust for women, you're made fun of. Like, oh, like what are you, bro? Like, are you gay? Like,
Yeah.
And then like, I mean, I know nowadays like the word gay is like so whatever in this environment, but I came from a different time. So, but like, when, man, you didn't want anyone to call you gay, bro. Like you didn't want that title on you at all. You just like you hanging out with all your boys and all that stuff, and all of a sudden like dude's like 12 years old and he's already like humping someone, like actually having sex.
You would do anything
And
to
then
show that you were gay.
And then same thing, like pornography also got introduced to me like super early on, man. Like I remember the conversation to this day. Dude was like, "Wait, you've never jacked off?" And I'm like, probably like 10. Like, I don't even think like semen would come out yet. That's how that's how young I was, bro. And I was like, "What? No, like what's that?" And then like I don't know. So yeah, I got exposed to it like super early on, man. And it is a struggle nowadays because, like you said, like every girl you probably meet out there. I mean, I'm married, but I just have from conversations that I have in here, and then from girls that are just like on social media and stuff like that. That maybe you like kind of get a little curious and go on their social media or whatever. Bro, like you always see OnlyFans link. I seen cars out here driving around. Like I seen this lady one time. She had a pickup truck, and like the whole back of her, like the back window was like an OnlyFans sticker and like an OnlyFans link. And I'm like, bro, that's crazy.
Yeah, to be glorifying.
Yo, like that's crazy. Like
to be glorifying that, bro. That's messed up, bro. That's messed up that she feels like that's something worth glorifying. You know what I'm saying? Which goes back to that mindset, man. All this stuff messes up your mind. And I also realized like say when I was like deeply into porn addiction, it was totally messing up like my relationships with actual women.
Yeah, because you objectify them.
Yeah, I was objectifying them. You know, I was having these expectations because, you know, of course, porn, they're going to be doing all the craziest, everything that you can think of. You know, so I'm having all these expectations, and then sometimes it's like you even have a hard time like getting up with a regular woman because you're so used to being desensitized to the porn. It's like that becomes your woman right there. I rather have sex with the computer than my actual real flesh and blood female. You know what I'm saying? And that's just mental illness, bro.
It is, man.
It's mental illness, man. And it has just such a huge effect on the way you act, the way you treat not just women but everyone. You know what I'm saying? The way you look at the world, the way you look at women, the way you see yourself, you know? And it's not beneficial at all, you know?
Yeah, like one of the things I started doing to try to help me like kind of stop with that. I mean, it is like a vice or whatever, and it's like something I'm still struggling through, getting a lot better at it though. Like definitely more intentional with it. And it's kind of like I just picture myself like when I'm in that moment, like if I was looking in the mirror right now, like a full body mirror, how stupid would I be looking right now, bro? And I just kind of I don't know, for me personally, I try to look at it that way. I even had one pastor one time talk to me, and he's like, you know what, man? He's like, go ahead, do it. Like if you want to watch porn, go watch porn, whatever. He's like, but like when you're on that website, whatever website it is, tell God to tell you which video to watch. Yo, and he said that to me, and I was like, damn. He's like, watch how quick you going back out of that website. And I'm like, yo, that's a fair point. And I actually did do it one time. There was one time where I was at home or whatever, and I ended up going on a website, and like his voice just came in the back of my mind. I'm like, all right, God, what video do I pick right now? And I was like, bro, you goofy. Let's get out of this. And but it's an everyday struggle. But I feel like it's with like anything else though. You build that muscle. You build up that muscle of like you stop, and then eventually you just kind of like me personally, my relationship with my wife, since I've gotten more intentional about like not watching it, not being so focused on it, like it's only gotten better.
Oh yeah.
And it, like, not that I ever objectified her and stuff like that, but I don't know. I don't know if it's like a dirty trick from the devil to where he kind of. I feel like anytime I would do it, we would get into arguments for no reason, like no reason at all, bro.
I can relate, bro. I can fucking relate.
And it was just like, it's just like, man, like, wait, like everything was going so good, like what? I'm like, last night I did the thing, and then
you start seeing the cycle of that, and you like, this is what's causing me doing this is what's causing this big rift, you know.
And like I had to like denormalize it because to me, growing up, porn was something so normal.
Yeah.
Bro, I remember like one of the first things back in high school when a boy of mine, he had I forgot what phone it was, dude. It was like one of the first phones that could go online. like because that was unheard of. Like smartphones didn't come out, so I was like a junior, and I think we were a sophomore or whatever. And like he could go online with his phone, and we're all on the school bus. What was the first thing we went for,
Yes,
bro?
Yes, bro.
First thing is you went on that website, man. Try to watch a video, look at pictures or something.
Bro, you know what we used to do, bro? We used to, before smartphones and all that, and when you had to like bring magazines and stuff like that, bro, we used to like print out pictures and stuff like that. And bro, it was just bad, man.
Remember dial up? You would have half a picture. As soon as one titty pop up on that screen, you're like, yo, this is all I need right now. I ain't waiting for the rest of it to load, bro. It's taking too.
Oh man, that shit was terrible, man. But I think about all the time I wasted in front of the computer screen, draining myself, bro. And dude, it literally is possession, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You're possessed, man.
You're possessed.
You are possessed in those moments when you're just giving yourself away and you're in that screen and you're locked in to that actress or whatever you watching. Like you straight possessed, bro. Mm-hmm. And it seems like once you release, you break out of it. Like, what'd I do that for?
Yeah, bro.
That was another thing. Shame. I started to feel a lot of shame. Mm-hmm. After I did it, I'd be sitting there like, why did I do that?
That even happens with women too. Like when you do it with like women that like you're not dating, you're nothing, just one night stand. Mm-hmm. Bro, I can't tell you that feeling. Like and it's like, bro, don't even. You just bust. As soon as you bust, that's it. That feeling just comes in.
You be ready to go,
bro. What am I doing?
Yes.
It's like I don't know. You have to become addicted with allowing yourself to only feel good. Mm-hmm. Like to allowing yourself to only feel like you have to take out of your life the things that make you feel the shame. Mm-hmm. That make you feel like you're unworthy or just like you're kind of just put it down simple, you're a piece of shit. Mm-hmm. Like you had to intentionally, I don't know, man. It's funny how long, at least for me personally, like how long I wouldn't mind putting myself in situations that like made me feel like a piece of shit, and then when I'd be in it, I'd be like, this is who I am, bro. Like I'm just an asshole. Mm-hmm. Like I'm this is me, and like you have to like train your brain to kind of start telling yourself different. Like, nah, bro, like I am, mantras. Mantras are life-saving.
Yeah, you do have to retrain yourself.
Anyone that is out there right now, I don't care if you think that you sound stupid while you're saying it, but bro, just tell yourself, like, nah, bro, I am worthy. Like, I tell myself here, like, I'll tell you things that I tell myself as I'm a barber, bro. I am the best barber. Like, I cut hair the best. I have the best conversations with people. I will change someone's life through things that I've been through. I will overcome like all the things that I will overcome all the things that I need to overcome to be able to make it to the next step. Mm-hmm. Like, bro, you start training your brain that way, and like that took me years. Like, it's not something simple. I remember the reason why I say like if you feel stupid when you say it, because I used to feel stupid, bro. Like I remember I had a mentor in my life, and he would tell me like, yo, when you wake up, just tell yourself like, nah, like today's gonna be a great day. Like I am worthy. I am enough. Like I am successful. I'm like, bro, why am I gonna say that? And it's because you don't feel it in that moment. It's sad. Like it's kind of a sad situation to be in, but like you have to tell yourself. And then obviously, like the more you get into it, it just becomes like a natural thing. Mm-hmm. Like you don't even. It'll get to a point where like you don't even have to say it out loud. In the beginning, say it out loud. 1000% say it out loud, because it kind of will get you to kind of train your brain.
Yeah.
But then there'll be days where I'll be in here and I'm doing whatever, bro, sweeping on the computer, doing something, and I just be saying in my mind, I'm like, nah, you know what? Like I am different. Like I am worthy. Like I am, and I know God has no favors or whatever, but like God has His hand on me. Like I'll just start thinking that stuff, and like God picked me for a reason, and or like I am in this position because like this is like I am the right person to be in this position. Like yo, you have to have. I almost want to call it like a healthy ego, because egos aren't good. Like you shouldn't have an ego, but you have to have like that self-confidence. Mm-hmm. And you have to be okay with kind of being a little bit different maybe than people that are around you, because I know that used to put me down sometimes. Sometimes I wouldn't want myself to be different because I didn't want to feel excluded. Mm-hmm. Or I didn't want that person to think that like maybe I think I'm better than them. And it's like, it's not that I think that, it's just, I don't know. You kind of you have to be okay with being 100% different, and nothing in your life will change if you don't change.
Real talk. You got to rewire. Mm-hmm. Totally rewire your brain, man. we come up from being children. Our parents are teaching us things. We start coming up, our friends and other people start influencing us. We have to get to a point where we have to totally rewire all that, bro.
Exactly.
And figure out what direction that we want to go in, man.
And even with us, my bad, like to go back to the lust real quick, like obviously I don't want to stick on that for too long, but
now go ahead, because people need to hear that, bro.
they do need to hear it.
They need to hear, because that is plaguing us as men.
It is.
That is plaguing us, bro. That is like, dude, I've had a relationship end because I was jacking off too much, and she was finding socks and stuff that I was using, and that shit's embarrassing, man. And I look back, I'm like, what were you doing, bro? Mm-hmm. Like, what were you doing? That was more important than anything. You just getting your rocks off real quick was more important than like having a relationship with somebody, you know what I'm saying? And
it's dumb, bro. It's tough. Like in the moment, it is tough, but like once you start to get out, and like, yo, I'm not saying this like I succeeded it, like I've overcome it. I am overcoming it, but like I'm still in the process or whatever. Like I still have the days that I slip up and stuff like that. And a lot of days now, like you don't even need to go on porn sites, bro. You go on Instagram,
right?
You be on TikTok. You be like, I mean, thankfully my TikTok page, I finally gotten it down to a point where like I barely see that stuff. But like Instagram, bro, I feel like Instagram, they intentionally like will put, bro, I'll be like looking at like haircut, car video, fishing video, booty. Like where
that shit is intentional. It is intentional, bro. It's intended to keep our minds off of what it's supposed to be. It's intentional to keep our minds off of whatever godly things we should be doing and focusing on, bro. There's entities out here that are trying to distract us, and it makes us destroy ourselves.
Yep.
They make us destroy ourselves. That's why the rewiring is so important, man, because you gotta constantly fight against this barrage of ass, titties, bikinis, and everybody's out here, exercising vanity, so you really have to, going back to what you absorb, bro, like your feed. If you are on social media, like you got to take off anything that is tempting you. Like I remember when I first kind of took a turn and started getting on this journey, like, all right, I got to fix this shit. You know what I'm saying? I like all the chicks that I was following just to look at.
Yep.
I'm like, I had to start unfollowing, had to start changing up my whole algorithm into things that, that are going to be beneficial to me, man. So taking those steps was everything, bro.
I'll say TikTok a lot because like I am one of those like people. I have no more shame in it. I did in the beginning, but to me TikTok I feel like is like the social media that I use the most, and I just like it because of the algorithm. Like I'll get my news from there. Like I'll get day-to-day stuff that's happening. I can get some education from in there as well too. Like I follow some people that are like philosophy teachers. I follow a lot of pastors in there. A lot of people that like maybe I wouldn't be able to see them. And because there's days where like I can't sit down and watch like a full like 30-minute YouTube video or whatever. Like most of my day consists of like I'm always like having to do something with it. So TikTok, bro, if I can sit down for 10 minutes, I'll consume like 5 things real quick, which I know it's not healthy, but it's just the era that we're in. It's like the new world that we're in. And but I had to delete my TikTok because especially during COVID, man. During COVID, yo, my TikTok, bro, you went on it, and like I remember the last barbershop I worked at. I almost took like, I don't want to say pride. It wasn't pride. It was like I would kind of boast about like, yo, like you can get 5 videos into my TikTok, and all of a sudden you just looking at straight ass, and like I just thought it was funny. And then as I started getting that mindset of like kind of getting out of that, I was just like, bro, like so I deleted that. My Instagram page, I deactivated my personal Instagram page for a while. Went into my explore page, and like, yo, I had to sit there and hit not interested, not interested, not interested, not interested, not interested.
Yeah.
And like go back into like videos that I had liked or that I had saved, and like delete all those, unlike them, unfollow, all that stuff. And it's tough, bro. Like, yo, the crazy thing is too, like I remember not that long ago I was on Instagram, I went on this girl's page, and obviously it just came up, whatever, something I looked at, I thought it was interesting, so I just went on her page just to kind of look a little bit more. And one of the first things I saw in her bio, it said your favorite demon. And like it was almost like kind of I noticed that now that I'm intentionally trying to get out of it, God is like kind of giving me that Oh man, what's the? I know the word so well, and I can't think of it right now. Discernment. Like he's starting to give me that discernment more and more of like seeing. Like bro, like I want you guys to do this as well too. Pay attention to how many girls that are lustful, like they make you lust for them, and they have some type of serpent tattoo on them. They have some type of demon tattoo. Sometimes they'll have a straight up like devil face on their body.
Yep.
And
some of them be having the horns, like even like the just the animated ones.
Yep.
They'll have little animated horns. These chicks are letting you know.
Yo, just pay attention to that, bro. Those are straight demons.
I don't know if y'all ever heard of a succubus, but these chicks are showing you that they are a succubus and they are here to drain your energy, bro. They here to drain your whole life force through the act of lust, bro. Yep. That's what these chicks are, man. Straight up.
And even search up things like the Jezebel spirit.
Yeah, Jezebel
like you don't even have to be religious, bro. These things are real. Like these things
because I'm not religious. I'm not religious. I just have my own personal deep relationship with God, but I know that this is what it is, bro.
It is. Like that's my thing is relationship. Like I'm a Christian because I don't know, as far as like you have to, not that you have to put a title on it, but it's kind of like when you start to align your thoughts and your minds with a certain group of people, you tend to lean towards those people. So like me personally, I'm a Christian, but I'm like probably one of the least religious Christians you'll meet. Like my thing is my relationship with God, my relationship with Jesus, and that's it. And then I personally try to learn from that. Like I'll read the Bible on my own. If I have like a pastor that tells me a story from the Bible or tells me something like, yo, I'll go in and I'll read it and I'll see like I'll ask God for the discernment while I'm reading it, or the knowledge while I'm reading it, and I try to go from there. But like there are things in this world that are like 100% real, confirmed. So like search up things like the Jezebel spirit. A lot of people now, they try to say that people aren't satanic. It's just it's a pagan culture. Bro, go look up the pagan culture.
Bro, that's why, and that's another thing that has like driven a wedge in between me and some people, is because I don't celebrate holidays. And because, you know, I've done my research on where they come from, and I realized that you're feeding into the energy of this. What it is a ritual, really. You feed into the energy of this ritual when you're dressing up for Halloween and Christmas trees and all that. It all gets very deep. But you guys should definitely educate yourselves on the origins of these holidays and these pagan traditions and all that, man, because it's all in our face, and we've all been programmed to be a part of it, you know, since we were kids, bro. Since we were kids, we've been getting programmed to feed into this demonic system, man, and that's just the truth. And it's right in your face. It's right in your face.
That's why even like one of the prayers that Jesus mentions in the Bible, if you read up on his story, is like he'll tell us like how to pray, and obviously there's not like a set way. Obviously you pray by just talking, like that's prayer. But like if you want to be intentional with it, he gives us certain guidelines, I would say. And one of them is allow us to accept things that we can't change. And I can't remember it exactly right now, but essentially you have to accept the things of this world because we are not accept it. We have to learn how to just be okay with it. Because like it exists, it is what it is, but we have to have that like knowledge to be able to like walk around it, not move into it, like not move with it. Like even there's like a famous Bible passage, and I'm sorry, I'm still getting better at my Bible knowledge and stuff like that, so I'm sorry I don't know things right off the rip, especially with that prayer. But there's things like in the Bible that people love to bring up, like I have tattoos and stuff like that. And I remember they'd be like, oh, but the Bible says like you can't tattoo your body. I'm like, yeah, bro, but if you go into that same book in the Bible, which I believe is Ezekiel, and you keep reading, it also tells you not to shave your hair, not to cut your hair. It also tells you you have to dress a certain way. It also tells you can't do this. And like, if you really take the time on your own to try to understand like what that story is, because everything has to have context. You can learn from the Bible a lot of things, but you have to have the context of what they're saying. Like, there's a lot of people that love to take certain passages out and use it for their benefit, so they can try to get their point across and make themselves feel better. But that passage we're talking about, the tattoos and the head shaving and the dress a certain way, God was leading his group of people into a different culture. Like he was taking them out of one city, state, whatever, one region, and he was moving them to a different region because they were kind of they were escaping persecution and like they were escaping death and stuff like that. So he was leading into something better, but he let them know, like, hey, these people that I'm kind of bringing you guys into for safety, just know that they worship other gods, like they have a different culture. So I don't want you to fit in with them. You can live amongst them. Obviously, it's things of this world, but don't become who they are, because they would tattoo their bodies for their gods. They would cut their hair for their gods. They would sit, like, dress a certain way for the gods that they would worship. So God was just setting a set of rules, like this is what you need to follow. And that's just kind of, I feel like, how we have to live, man. We have to kind of, it's there. Like obviously, I would love to be able to create a movement that would get rid of that stuff. That's not realistic though, because this world is not ours. Like this world is not even God. God oversees it, like he's the king of it, but he's not per se, like in a way, he's not the ruler. Like the world is Satan's, and Satan is gonna do what
that's a biggie, bro. This is
this is the devil's domain, this is domain.
This is his domain, and that was a big realization I had to have, because you know when you first start coming across certain realizations, you're kind of like, oh, like kind of up in arms about it a little bit, you know. But over time, I've just I've gotten a firm understanding of where I'm at. But I know I don't have to be of it.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like a lot of people don't know, bro, that like Satan is not the ruler of hell. Like everyone, like the world depicts him being like the king of hell. Bro, like when he goes to hell, because he's gonna be set there. Like right now, God's just like, he's being allowed to roam. He's a fallen angel from heaven and stuff like that, and he's roaming through the earth. But when it comes time, like when Jesus comes back and all that stuff happens, like I know some of you might not believe all this stuff, but if you pay attention to society and everything that it is right now, I'm telling you, like just read up for yourself. When it comes time for Jesus to come back and stuff like that, like Satan is gonna be sent to hell, like, and he's gonna be sent there to be tortured as well, to go through the same stuff, and like a lot of people kind of joke about it and like, oh, I'm gonna be alongside with Satan, like ruling with him. It's like, yeah, you're gonna be alongside with him, but y'all gonna be struggling and suffering together. Like y'all gonna be burning together. And I don't know, just I feel like for those of you that are believers, and for those of you that are like kind of maybe switching into that, like you're just now starting to want to seek God more and understand more. The number one thing that you have to understand is that we have already won. Like God has already won. Satan has already been defeated. That's why you get the resurrection of Jesus. Like that's why what he said he was going to do, he went ahead and he did it. Like he said he was going to destroy the temple and build it back up in 3 days. And like if you read that passage, a lot of people think that it's he was talking about the physical temple, because he went into the temple that they had built for God, and instead of it being like a holy place, like a sanctuary place, they made it into like a marketplace, like where they would sell stuff, collect taxes, do all this stuff. And like when Jesus went in and like he kind of started throwing things and like throwing people out and telling everyone to leave and stuff like that, and they questioned him like, man, like who do you think you are, and like for you to be coming in here and doing this? Is like, yo, how dare you disrespect my father's house? And they're like, well, show us that he's your father. He's like, I will show you. Like, I'll destroy this temple and build it back up in 3 days. And like, he wasn't talking about that temple. Like, he was talking about himself, like his body. And just know, like, as long as you accept that, man, like you accept that Jesus really did die for you, which he did. Like, he built his body back up because he was dead for 3 days. He went in, he took the key from Satan. Like, he overcame death. Just know that you're good. Like now it's just about the process. Like you've already overcome everything. Like in the end, like you're good. God's already won. It's his battle that he's fighting for us. Where just obviously we have to experience it, but just overcome it. That's the big thing. Just continue to be consistent in trying to just do better. One of the things that helps me out, especially with the whole lust factor, is because I'm the type of person where like if I think like how can I say it? Like let's say if I have the thought of watching porn, right? Or like let's say if I just happen to end up on like a picture, like a video, whatever that I'm looking at, like all of a sudden that lust starts to come out. Like I'll be like, man, you know what? Like I'm already here. like I'm already sinning, so screw it. Like let me just finish
Yeah,
it.
might as well.
Yeah,
Yep.
might as well
Yep,
do
yep,
like
yep.
see it through, right?
You start to like convince yourself of these things.
Yeah.
Like I know I've done it myself. I've been like, well, this is better than having to deal with a woman that's, you know, getting on my nerves or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
I
So
shut the screen off. It's done. I don't have to listen to the
exactly.
bicker.
So it's like you convince yourself to take on these acts. You know what I'm saying?
But like one of the most important things is like the thought is not the sin. Like, cause we could think things all the time, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can think some dirty stuff, some bad stuff, maybe even some things that you want to like. Let's say even a better example, like something you want to do to someone. Like let's say someone pisses you off, right? The sin is not the thought. The sin is the action. So you can sit there and you can be watching the video and you can be like thinking those things or like lusting over that person, but like don't convince yourself that you're sinning already. And like this is like it may sound kind of dumb, but it's like a major factor because like the action is what's gonna like that's the sin right there. You acted on it.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know that's a good way that this is something that I implemented to get over porn addiction. I would make myself watch it, but not do any of the act. It was almost like a reverse psychology in a kind of way. Because I'm like, if I can sit here and watch this, not actually do the act, and kind of intentionally be working through as I'm watching it, kind of being like looking at women less, kind of looking at what I'm looking at as the opposite of what I'm looking at. That was another way I kind of rewired my brain and fooled my brain. So it actually helped me to watch it and look at it in a different light as I watched it. You know, that was like one portion of what I've done, you know, on this continuous road, you know. So whatever you can do to implement this stuff, man, and like you said, the act of it is what it is, man, because these thoughts, they're gonna come.
They're gonna come.
We have so many influences, and these thoughts come in, and you gotta be able to filter them out.
Because I've met people that are like 7 years in to like not watching porn. Like, yo, porn addiction is a real thing.
Real.
Like it's like AA level real. Like you tell people like alcohol, I'm addicted to alcohol, I'm addicted to coke, I'm addicted to like heroin. Like porn is up there with that type of stuff.
But those are the things that people mention though. They always keep that porn thing silent.
Yeah, because porn is normal. Porn is it's whatever, bro. Like, man, you a dude, like whatever. Like you jerked out to someone, who cares?
Yeah.
But it's like, yo, you don't know how much it can detriment your life.
Yes, bro.
In a heavy way, heavy way. Like I'll say, even for me personally, once I started to become more intentional with like not focusing on it, not watching it so much, and not making it like part of my day, like other things in my life started to kind of line up.
Yes, bro, and I see that now, bro. Like, and that makes me stay away from it even more now, because now I'm starting to see this stuff like it's almost like it's been put out for a platter for me. Of course, I got to work for it, and I got to work through some struggle to get it. But I'm like, all this is being lined up because I'm choosing not to go that route.
Exactly. Yo, like with me, it was even for a little bit. It was even how can I say it? It was like a struggle because I would know that like I was slowing things down in my life from happening. Like I was slowing down the progress and stuff like that, because I was choosing to do that. And then I would see little moments in my life where like life was going good, like things were lining up, things were happening, and then all of a sudden like I'd fall back, and it's almost like all of a sudden like meetings would get canceled, or maybe someone that I was supposed to meet that particular day, all of a sudden that got switched up and something came up, or like my mindset would start to change. I would be a little bit like more, I would be grumpier, or I wouldn't be as willing to help people out. Like, yo, and all it was just from porn. That was it. And like it's crazy the amount that it can switch up. And then also when I pay attention now to people that have been so long without it, and I see how much their life has progressed, that's why I try to focus on that. And I kind of related to like when you have kids, like you'll know this. Like if your kid is if you consistently tell your kid to not do something, and they keep doing it, like you're gonna have less. Not they're gonna have less trust, but you're not gonna give them more things that you can trust them with, because you're gonna be like, nah, man, like he's still working through this, like he's still figuring this out, so I know I can't trust him with this yet. And I kind of look, I think that's how God kind of looks at it with us, like, and just think about it with anything. Like when I gave up weed, like when I stopped smoking weed, bro, it was almost like God was like, okay, bet, like now, like I can see, like after a couple months in, he's like, now I can see that like you're being intentional with this, and like you're really trying to work through something better.
Yes, sir.
So here, let me give you this opportunity, and the opportunity was this barbershop, like being able to be a manager in here.
Bro, that's so damn real, man.
Yo, like when even when I had my daughter, like before we had our daughter, I always wanted a kid, and but I remember like the prayer that I had before we had her and stuff like that. I was just intentional with it, and I think God was seeing like, all right, like you're doing this in your life a little bit better. You're kind of starting to hang out with more people that are better for you. You're starting to do. All right, I can trust you. You can have a kid now. So you have to like look for all these little achievements that you have in your life, and kind of try to picture like what happened before you got to that achievement, and then just keep progressing. Like, bro, I'm about to be 32 years old right now, and I feel like I'm still like a teenager learning. Like, because I kind of, I in a sense of it, I threw away my teenage years. I threw away like a good chunk of my childhood because I didn't care about much. Like I just wanted to have fun, especially after, bro, from like 19 until like 23, 22. Like I didn't care about nothing. Like it was live fast, let's live today, let's enjoy today, and whatever happens is what happens. But it's crazy how much life can drastically change, and quickly.
I'm about to say sometimes it's like boom,
quickly.
Sometimes that light bulb go off, and you just like, oh, I'm about to really go a whole new route, and I ain't even gonna look back. You know,
like I mean. And like what I'm about to say, like I'm not being boastful, but even with me, and I keep bringing it back to the barbershop because that's just the current season that I'm in now, is the barbershop, and this is what I'm doing now. But like even with this, like the position that I am in here, with the things that I do in here, like there's barbers out there that they work 5, 10 plus years to try to get into a similar position. Like I didn't do it myself. Like I mean, I know I put a lot of work. I put the hard effort into it. Like I gave the owners of this establishment the reasons to trust me with not just my words, because words don't matter much. Like I mean, words. Let me take that back. Like words matter. Like the power of life and death is in the tongue.
Keeping your word matters.
Exactly. Like, but you just saying you're gonna do something, that doesn't count. Like you have to do it. And like there's things in here where like I mean I've had one of them talk to me in here. He's like, yo, bro, one of the things I like the most is like I don't even have to tell you stuff. Like you figure and fix problems out before they come to me. And like I intentionally do that because I feel like, and this is for anyone, no matter like what situation you are in life, figure things out before they happen. Like try to give people in your life a reason to count on you.
Yeah.
You be held accountable, man. Like I don't know, you have to be selfless. You have to. For you, if you want to progress in life, like the quickest trajectory for you to get better in life and achieve the things that you want to achieve, do things for other people.
Yeah.
Do things for other people. Make sure everyone else is taken care of. Make sure you meet someone today, dude's trying to, I don't know, he's trying to become a better mechanic, whatever. Bro, if you have the time, go out, help him learn. Just be like, oh, work on my car. If you got a friend that's trying to be a tattoo artist, bro, let him tattoo you. Let him, like, kind of help him direct in your spare time. Look up YouTube videos, send it to him. Like, the second you start doing things for other people, your life will also progress with that. Like, things will start clicking in for you.
Yeah, it has to become larger than you. It has to become a lot larger than you, man.
You have to, like, one of the kind of going back to what we were talking about earlier, with you have to give to receive, and like the more that you take, the more will be taken from you. Like, bro, try to receive things with your hand like this. Like if you unwilling to help anyone out, you unwilling to do anything for it, like this how your hand is, because you just want to keep it all. Like you want to keep it for yourself, but bro, just let it open it. The same way that it can be taken out, it can also be given right back.
Right.
And you'll see it happen like quickly. It does not take long.
You might have something taken out this much.
Mm-hmm.
It might come back this big. This stack might be this big when it comes back, you know? So always be in that charitable spirit, man.
You have to be. You have to be, man. We're all here for each other. There's too much division in this world right now, but I think people are starting to wake up.
I do too.
Like my personal feeling, bro, I really deep down inside, I feel like there's gonna be a great awakening that's gonna happen.
I do
Spiritually, too. People like understanding who God is, going back to Him, but also just on a communal level, like on a level of people are starting to kind of figure out that like, yo, we have each other. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Like screw politics, screw whatever all these people are saying, screw whatever all these people are feeling, blah blah. Like yo, no one like we help each other out, and that's it.
Yeah, because we all we got. Because you know, speaking of politics, politicians don't give a damn about us. You know, we as the people, we are what we have, man.
Yep.
And we can't look to these people to give us things. We gotta actively get out there and create it. You know, create change. You know, do things differently, man, and look out for one another.
You have to, man. That's it. Like think about it, bro. If you get into a car accident right now, God forbid, if you get into a car, actually, let me not even say that because I don't want to put that out there. But like, let's say if I don't know, like you need a birthday cake tomorrow. Like who if you're someone that's so spiteful, if you're someone that never helps out anyone and stuff like that, like who are you gonna turn to? You're gonna have to either hopefully you have a friend or something like that that'll be willing to help you out, but you're also gonna have to go to the grocery store or something like that to order one. And like let's say if you treat that person disrespectfully, bro, they're probably gonna like put so much hate into that cake, it ain't even gonna taste good because of how you treated them, and vice versa. Like let's say if you at your job or whatever, like you're helping someone out, and that person is like mad disrespectful to you or they don't treat you good. Like, how's that gonna make you feel? You're gonna be willing to help them out? You just be like, bro, I ain't even gonna try to do nothing. That's why they say, man, you catch more flies with honey than you do with salt, or however that I forgot how that phrase goes.
I do too.
But you get more out of life just being kind, man. Be kind, be respectful, be nice. I mean that's like the one of the main things I'm gonna kind of ingrain into my kids, and like I'd even do it now. My daughter's about to be 4, and like say hi to people, greet people, like be nice. I feel like too many people got stuck in that whole mindset of like, oh, don't talk to strangers. It's like, bro, like you were a stranger at one point,
right?
Like you have to teach them the mentality of don't go with the stranger. Like don't go too much into it, stuff like that.
Yeah,
but you still have to
trusting anybody.
Yeah, but you still have to give them a shot. Like I remember, I forgot who it was that told. Oh, one of my mentors one time he told me, he's like, yo, like I have things that I can teach you and implement into your life. He's like, I just need this much trust from you. That's it. Just give me this much, and I'll earn the rest. And I feel like you have to do that with everyone. Like obviously, we've all been through stuff. We all go through things that makes you not want to trust people.
No doubt.
But you can't project what someone else has done to you in your life on someone that has nothing to do with it.
Yeah, that's big.
You can't, and that just kind of, I don't know. That's what changes everything.
Well, bro, I've been making a lot of videos about like letting go of being bitter.
You know, forgiveness is,
and you have to, man. You can't continue to see people in the same light that they were in, especially if you see them actively making changes, like really working on themselves. You can't continue to let those old feelings keep you feeling the same exact way, about that person,
Yeah, man, like I grew up very bitter, man. There was a lot of people, especially family in my life that I'll put it this way, like I grew up not necessarily knowing what love was, like in a deep level. Like I tell my wife all the time, and like I don't even mind putting this out there on the internet, but like my wife was the first person that taught me like what true love really is. And like I grew up, I didn't understand that until I was like in my 20s. And so I grew up like most of that life just with like hate in my heart, and like I had a conception of what love was, but love to me was fading. Like it was just like this it's a temporary thing. And I don't know, once you start to learn that, you start to forgive people. I honestly think that forgiveness is not for the person that you're forgiving. I think forgiveness is for you.
Oh yes.
Forgiveness is because like so you can let that weight off your shoulder. And
that's exactly what it is weight.
Yeah,
it's weight, and that shit, man. If you allow it, that pressure will just crush you, bro.
Yo, because I can almost guarantee you, depending on how long you've been holding on to that weight, that person don't even remember how they treated you. They don't remember what they said to you. Chances are, the second that you go out to them, you finally build up the courage to forgive them. You go out to them, you say, "Oh, I forgive you." They're gonna probably be like, "Oh, for what?" And like, yo, just think about that. Like, you spent all that years with that stuff stuck in your brain, and when the second you go up to the person, and this happened to me personally, I went up to someone not that long ago that like it took me a long time to forgive them, and when I finally did, the person looked at me, but like I didn't do none of that. I didn't say that stuff. What? Like to where I almost had like that little like moment in time where I'm like, did I make all that stuff up? But I'm like, no, like it actually happened, bro. And I just let it go. I'm like, yo, I forgive you. And it's a daily thing. Like there's still times where I might run into someone that I've forgiven in the past, and like all of a sudden like that, like for a split second, I'm like, man, this person did me wrong.
Yeah.
But I'm like, no, like I forgive you. Like you tell yourself, obviously, it's kind of weird if you tell someone many times that you forgive them, but like you just keep telling them, nah, like I've already forgiven them. And that's it. You're not gonna forget it. That takes a lot of time and a lot of training mentally for you to forget. But I don't think you ever will. It'll just kind of grow easier to think of. Like it'll come to your mind and it'll just be like nothing, like a fading thought.
I think a biggie as well is like romantic relationships, because since those are so intimate, when they don't work out, there can just be a lot held on. You know, especially if you still, if you have kids and you still have to see one another, and make things work. That could be hard, man, but you gotta be willing to let go of what was. What is what matters.
Yeah, exactly.
What is what matters, and what we can do moving forward, that's what matters. So that's what we got to focus on.
And a lot of times too, like we'll hold on to things because you feel like the person hasn't justified what they've done to you, or it's not fair. The way that they treated you, like they're never gonna make up for it. Like it doesn't matter what you feel, how you think about it. They're never gonna be able to make up and recompensate you for what they've done. And don't think that you forgiving them is kind of giving them like the free pass.
Yeah.
Like you never know. Maybe that's a guilt that lives inside of them. Like I've had guilt inside of me from how I've treated people, and
No doubt, me too.
like when I've gotten forgiven for it, I didn't necessarily feel free. If anything, it made me feel shittier. Because I'm like, damn, bro, like this person's like grown to the point where they've forgiven me.
Yeah,
and like,
bro. Because like I hurt them, and they still are able to, in some way, give me love.
Exactly.
It makes you feel even worse.
and then you see them like their life start to get better or whatever. Because it happens. Like when you forgive people, your life kind of starts to you progress a little bit more. So like you see their life start to get better, and then all of a sudden you're bitter, and you're like, what the hell? It's like, why them? Like, yo, this and that, and I don't know. It's too much. You gotta let go of the hate. Letting go, the forgiving is not just like forgiving. You're just letting go of hate.
Let it go, man.
It's like, man, the hippies, I feel like they had it right, bro. When they were talking about all the love, peace, flower, like obviously they went a little too loony with it, but it essentially is that, man. You just have to live with love in your heart.
Real talk.
You have to.
Real talk. Even if you've been through the most of pain, you still gotta be willing to have that love, man. You gotta have that love in your heart, man. No matter what the world is throwing at you and giving you, that you can't let that leave you jaded, angry, hateful,
And you want to get better at that, bro? Just go do some community work. Go talk to people. You don't even have to. I mean, screw it. If you don't want to work or whatever on your day off or on your free time, just go talk to someone. Go start to hear other people's stories. That's one of the things that I'm very appreciative about the profession that I have now, man, is I get to hear people's stories. Like, yo, it's crazy. That barber chair is magical, bro. They sit down and all of a sudden it's like, yo, they might have just met me. They know me for the 10 minutes I've been cutting their hair. But they just kind of release and let go. And it's like, I don't know. I like it, though.
That's beautiful, though, man, because, you give them that space, that safe space.
Yeah.
Just like this podcast, man. It's no judgments here. You can be as open as you want, and I know this is gonna help somebody.
Oh, 1,000%.
I know it, man, because we're willing to be open about, all the faults we've had, things we've dealt with, and we could be transparent, and we could do it on a wide level. Somebody in Japan could see this.
For real, bro, for real.
So it's like completely been able to let go and creating safe space like within yourself. People gravitate to that, bro.
Because we're all similar, man. Like we're all very similar. Yeah, we're all dealing with the same stuff.
You hear all these stories, right? And you when it comes down to like the core of it, you're like, we all dealing with the same stuff, bro. Different situations and experiences, but we all dealing with the same thing, man. Because we're all connected, whether we like it or not.
Yeah, like that whole thing of like, don't look at someone and think just because of where they're at, they're there because, I don't know, they're just luckier than you are. It's like, no, bro, that whole generational wealth, like the old money, I don't want to say generational, but like the old money and stuff like that, like even that stuff comes with its struggles. Like, I mean, think about it now. Like, let's say if you are who you are right now watching this video, right? And someone just randomly comes up to you, like, "Oh, here's $10 million." Like, are you in a position where you'll be okay with that money?
Exactly.
Like, how long is that 10 million gonna last you? What is gonna be the first thing that comes to your mind for you to do with it? That's what I'm saying. Like, man, it's just everyone's struggle may be different. Maybe you struggle more than someone else. Maybe you struggle less than someone else. It don't matter. Struggle's still a struggle, man.
Like it's still, that more or less.
Yeah, bro. That's just all perspective.
Subjective, yeah.
It's all perspective. It's like, I don't know, bro. Like, would you guys feel comfortable hanging out in a car with a bunch of drug dealers, having the time of your life, knowing that there's so many bad things in the car, so many things that may like take you somewhere like to prison for a while? Like, would you feel comfortable with that? Like, that's something I used to feel comfortable with.
I used to be comfortable, bro. I can remember times we went to like go look for people.
Yeah.
And by God's graces, we didn't find them that night.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And like, so like I can sit here and like listen to you, oh man, but oh man, I'm struggling with this thing that like I don't even know like what's like, oh, this girl didn't want to talk to me or whatever, and like, oh, this girl, like, she cheated on me and this and that, and like I could hear that type of stuff and be like, hey, yo, what? So like my whole life, like people cheated on everyone, like everyone got cheated on, like, so what? And like you may have like a different lifestyle where like no one cheated on anyone. Like you grew up in a good family home, both parents at home and stuff like that. So like it's all perspective. It's like all perspective. The same way that maybe like even though I was in that same car with those people type stuff, all that, I didn't feel comfortable going like further than that. Like, let's say like you went out for people, you looked for people, whether it was to do whatever it was going to be with them. Like me personally, even though I was around that stuff, I never felt 100% comfortable like being with that. So it's like, it's all perspective, man. Like your struggle is all a perspective of like the people you're around and what you feel comfortable with. I guess is what you can say. I feel like I went a little sideways with that conversation, but
yeah, man.
Nah, it's good though, man. It's good to listen to other people, to kind of keep trying to grow and change how you think. Change the things in your life that matter, and let go of the things that don't matter anymore, because that's gonna keep holding you back from achieving what you want. It's always gonna be like a little past in your mind, of just holding you back. It'll always be like, oh, like you'll always have that thing in the back, like, man, but like because of this, oh, but because of this, I'm not where I want. Oh, but because of this, like I haven't. Man, just let go.
Let go and just know because of this, it's you. Look in the mirror. Only thing you gotta do is look in the mirror.
Look in the mirror.
That's it. That's really it. That's the reason of everything that's going on in your life. Is that person in the mirror, man. And just know you have the power to change that, man. If you so choose, man. But it ain't gonna be no easy road. It's not gonna be handed to you either, man. You have to work for it. Go get it. Go through some trial and error and be willing to get back up, man.
Yeah, like no one succeeds easily. Success is not easy, bro. You want easy? You want to just chill in life and like have an easy life, bro? Be comfortable. Stop doing stuff. Be broke.
Straight up.
Like, yo, being broke is probably easier than being rich, if I gotta be real with you. Cause like, yo, when you start to kind of like get into money and like you start making good money and stuff like that, the decisions and the responsibilities that you have to take on to keep it and to make sure you're always like obtaining more, so much harder. And I'm not just talking about financial, bro. I'm talking about who you are as a person. I'm talking about the changes that you have to make to yourself, how you have to treat other people, the things that you're gonna have to like take in and accept, the things that you're just gonna have to get over. It's just like there's so much around it, bro. If you just want to be comfortable and not change and not change who you are, not live up to your full potential, just stay where you're at. Just chill. There's nothing wrong with that. There's many people that live that lifestyle. If you're okay with it, then hey, whatever.
It's your life.
Yeah, it's your life, man. You just want to, I don't know, play basketball all day. You just want to smoke weed all day. You just want to, but be okay with it. But just know that those struggles, that's always gonna be a thing. Like that thought in the back of your head of like, man, like I'm not fully happy. That's always gonna be a thing.
Yeah, just know your results are gonna be a product of all that you're doing, all the choices that you're making.
But get ready though, because once you make that decision to start getting better and start achieving more, get ready.
For real.
It's fun. I don't regret anything. I love it. I love this lifestyle that I live now. I love the things that I'm able to accomplish now. I love the stress that comes with it. I love the learning who I'm becoming through it. But it is definitely not easy. It is not easy.
Yeah, because now I have a mindset where I look at everything as like amplifying me. Yo. Like it's just making me stronger. I got to go through this because it's gonna make me a lot better moving forward, man. And it's just simple as that for me, man.
Yeah, because there are days where I wake up and I'm like, man, I just want to chill. Like, yo, I really got to be waking up right now at 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning. I really got to go do this. I really got to handle this situation, talk with this person. Like, I don't want to do that, man. I just want to chill. But that time will come.
No doubt.
Like, I'm hustling now. So, like, when I get to a point, like, bro, my ultimate goal is I want to live on a good amount of land. Like, probably, like, if I can, 40 acres, God willing. 40 acres of land, clear out like 4 or 5 acres of land to live on, like to have a house, a couple things to have fun on, and just not live near no one, bro.
Grow my own food so I know where it's coming from. So I know I ain't eating poison.
Exactly. And just be able to choose how you live, man. Just choose that. You can do that now, actually. Actually, you have to do that now. You have to choose how you live. But I don't know. Like, I'm working towards getting to that point where I can just chill.
Yeah.
Right now it's not chill. I've done chilled for too much, man. Too long.
Game face is on now.
Bro, I wish I had this mindset when I was like in my early 20s.
And it would have been unstoppable. Unstoppable, bro.
It's dope though, bro, because this new generation, like I meet a lot of kids this new generation that they're different.
They are.
Like they don't like to just settle. They don't like to just be chilling or whatever. Like they're always looking for something to progress in. It's dope. It's dope to see. It's dope to see.
It's good stuff.
And I feel like that old lifestyle is no longer what's the word for it? It's no glorified. It's no longer glorified. Like that old crazy lifestyle of. I mean, me personally, it's just maybe it's here in Florida. I don't know. Maybe there's still other places out there that kind of glorify like that fast paced, like kind of just chilling, like not really amounting to nothing, just kind of just hanging out in the house all day, just smoking weed and stuff like that. Like now, even those dudes that be doing that stuff, they're still out there hustling more. They're trying to find other ways of making money. Like I don't know. I feel like social media has helped a lot, bro. A lot. That's one good thing. Like that's another good thing that I think is dope about the internet now. It's like you have a dude that if he wants to be a rapper, bro, be a rapper. Like you no longer need a record label. You no longer need people to tell you who to be, what to do, all that stuff. You can just kind of be you.
Well, just think about it, bro. Like I built my own studio over a course of a couple years, just getting a piece of equipment here and there. And now I don't have to go and pay for studio time. And, you know, it's all me.
Yep.
You know,
exactly. You're able to choose. You're able to make that decision and actually act on it. So it's dope, bro. It's dope.
All right, bro. Any closing words for the people out there? Worldwide. What you gotta say to him, man?
Nah, I'm just gonna say, man. I feel like all I have to say is, first of all, thank you for this as well again, too, man. This was awesome.
Bro, thank you.
I'll definitely be open to doing this again. I feel like there's a lot more conversation.
I already have. Just while we're talking, I'm like, we got way too much to talk about.
Yeah,
to only do this one time.
Nah, yeah, bro. There's so much. So I was even telling him, he's like, oh, maybe like an hour and a half or something. I'm like, man, about halfway through, I was like, oh, you might go longer. But nah, this is definitely great, man. There's a lot more stuff that can be talked about. I feel like as I personally also work out this muscle of being on a long form video and stuff like that, my thoughts and my conversations won't go so sporadic. But just know that you guys matter, man. Like each and every single one of you guys out there matter on a personal level and also just on a level of people around you as well too. Like you matter to them. Stop putting yourself down if that's something that you do, because that's something that I would consistently do. Just understand that you are worth of whatever you want, like whatever achievements you have in mind, whatever goals, whatever dreams, like you are worthy of it. Like you do deserve it. If it's in your brain, it's because it's something that you are like able to achieve. You are capable of it right now. The person that you are currently in this exact moment, I don't care how bad you may think of yourself or how much you may think you're not well equipped yet, but the person that you are in this exact moment, you are able to achieve every and anything that you want to achieve. And it's just that plain and simple. And also just help out others, man. That's another thing. Maybe not help out, like work out on getting better at that, but just start caring more for others. Start having more conversations, start to have more sympathy towards other people. That's one thing that I struggle with for a very long time, because just how I grew up, like the lifestyle that I used to live, no sympathy. You could not have no sympathy. You could have no weaknesses. You could not show any of that stuff.
Sympathy and empathy.
Yep. And it took me a long time, man. It took me a long time for me to like truly, deeply care for other people. I might have cared for people, made sure they were good and stuff like that, but like once it came to knowing them on a personal level and try to see how I could help them personally, like in a deeper level other than whatever it was that I could do at the time. And that's where you start to create that sympathy, that empathy. You start to try to relate with people. So I would say just that, man. Just know that you matter and that everyone else matters as well too. And you want to change in this world. I mean, you have to be the change, honestly. Who was the dude that said that? He's like, be the light in the world that you want to see or whatever.
Oh no,
my bad, guys. I'm gonna get better at these, at knowing who it was that came up with these analogies. Bob Marley. My bad. How could I forget Bob Marley? Man? But yeah, you have to be the change that you want to see. You have to.
Real talk.
But yeah, that's it, man.
Let people know where they can reach you. If you want to plug anything.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Plug it off.
Man, like I said, managed over here at Bravo's Barbershop. You can find our shop at Bravo's Barbershop.ofc on Instagram. My name is RICCIERI. It's spelled RICCIERI. And you can find me at RICCIERI_vision, VIZN. That's my barber page. You guys can always feel free to reach out to me, whether if it's something question that you have from this video or even just to get a haircut, whatever. Like this barbershop, my chair personally, I have conversations like this in my chair all the time. And I don't know, that's kind of my purpose as a barber, is to kind of reach out to people, not just the haircut. Yeah, I gotten good at it. I'm pretty great barber, if I must say, but that's just kind of that's not the main goal. That's not the main objective. And yeah, you guys can feel free. Like I said, we're over here on Metro Parkway. If you don't mind, I'll put the address. It's
I'm gonna put all the stuff. I'm gonna edit it up nice and good for you, baby.
It's at 10180 Metro Parkway, Suite 1, right here in Fort Myers, Florida, right across the street from CarMax. If you want to come in, like I said, we got PlayStation 5, we got TVs going all the time. If you're 21 and up, we give complimentary beer. If not, we got water, Coca-Cola, we got coffee. We got foosball table, man. Just like a really dope spot to hang out. I'll see if anything, if you'll edit in some B-roll or something like that from the shop. Just so
I was actually gonna ask you that.
Yeah,
we can just walk through. You can give them a little tour.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do a separate video of like a tour or something like that, or maybe even include it in this one. We'll see. Yep. But yeah, man, I look forward to hearing from you guys, meeting you guys personally, if anything, and just, send a message to either myself or I keep wanting to call you Shinobi, man. That's why.
Go ahead.
Shabri. That's why I was holding back and saying, I'm like, I'm going to say Shinobi. Shabri, just reach out to myself or Shabri as well, too, if you guys have any questions or anything like that. Go into more depth on a personal level as well, too. And I'm also here on a not a mentor yet. I mean, I can mentor you on a lot of things that I've learned. I haven't hit the level that I want to hit yet on that, but there's a lot of things that I'll be able to answer questions for you guys if you want. And that's it.
All right, man. Well, thank you once again.
Yes, of course. This is a pleasure, dude.
Appreciate
this was fun.
It was wonderful. Remember, check my man out. Follow his page. Definitely come out and check out Bravo's, man. This is the hottest spot I done been to in Florida.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it.
But yeah, man, you guys, like I always say, man, take care of yourselves, take care of one another, man. I hope we brought you guys some value, man. That's been my intention all along, bring you guys value. I can't bring you all the value, so I bring valuable people with me, you know, to add a little extra something, you know, in there.
And more to come, more soon to come. We get some people that are even better than me to kind of do this.
Don't sell yourself short.
Nah.
But yeah, we got shit. This is episode 2.
Episode 2?
Season 3, man.
My first podcast ever.
Remember, we do 10 episodes a season. So we got 8 more to go. More exciting people. I really want to get I was looking around here, and maybe we could even get the owners one day.
Yeah.
Because I have mics and stuff at home. I got 4 mics at home.
For sure. I know their stories are interesting as hell too, man.
So
interesting as hell.
You know, this just opens things up to just more.
Yes,
you know,
sir.
To more progression, more community, more family, man, and you know, more perspectives that I feel should be out there in the world, man, to listen to. So
for sure. And maybe next time too, I'll go into a little bit more personal stuff. I don't know. I feel like this is my first podcast. My brain was everywhere.
Well, bro, we both kind of just came into this hey, let's
see what happens.
Let's do it.
Let's see what happens.
What I'm saying? That's usually when the best things happen anyway.
But if you guys are willing and up to it, if you want to hear it, even I'll go into a little bit more personal. That way you can kind of see where I'm coming from.
Yeah. Just
so you don't think I'm just some dude that had it good and now I'm trying to tell y'all such and such. But I came from it. Let's just say I was in the dirt. I was rolling around in it, enjoying it, and had to come up from there. So I just feel like it's always good to kind of hear me personally. I like hearing other people's where they came from.
Yeah.
It makes it a little bit more personal. It adds a little bit more value to it.
No doubt. I agree. Yeah, this is just a little intro, man. So we're gonna keep it going, keep it pushing. Everybody out there, man, keep going for what you want. Don't let anybody take you off that path. Make sure you have a strong relationship with God, man. Ask for that guidance, ask for those opportunities, and you won't be led astray, man. But you got to do the work yourself. You got to take those righteous actions and actually live it, man. Not just talk it, but you got to live that shit. You got to straight up live it daily. Not saying you're gonna get it right every day, but you gotta intentionally have those intentions to be living that.
You have to make the choices daily.
Yeah.
Daily and act on them.
Real talk. But this has been the Shinobi podcast. This is King Shinobi.
RICCIERI.
All right, man. We're gonna sign out, man. Much love to y'all, man. Have a wonderful day. Peace out.
Peace out. That was dope.
It's okay to make mistakes, but don't feed yourself that medicine and let it be permanent. Okay, you're gonna have trials and setbacks. I had plenty of them. I'm still gonna have more, I'm sure. I'm not saying they're over with. They're always gonna keep coming about. That's what we got to remember. But you just got to keep building yourself up as a man to be able to conquer those, because the more you build yourself up, the easier the shit gonna be. I'm not saying it's gonna be always be easy, but the more strong you get here, the more it's gonna be easier to be dealing with a breakup. Or unfortunately, if you take a loss financially, there's little things like that. And then when you're alone and you're working on yourself, you don't got to always sit there and fill the void, which I think we're all guilty of at some point in our lives. I'm not saying I'm not Mr. Perfect here, but you don't got to sit there and want to fill the void and always have a certain, not saying it's a women, but alwa't somebody around you or something like that. As a man, you don't ever want to be codependent on anybody. Yes, you want to be out there and sociable. You don't want to be what's that word? Well, I don't know. It's on the tip of my tongue. You don't want to be isolate yourself. You don't want to isolate yourself from society, but you also got to be willing to be alone at some point.
Yeah.
To find out
you
who
have to
you are.
isolate when it's necessary.
Exactly. No, that's pretty much like it's just to me. I feel bad, and I'm not. This has nothing to do with anybody, but it's like I feel bad for men out there in the world that never get that chance to actually suck it up because hey, it sucks, bro. I remember when I had, when those times when like you're younger and you have to actually go through it and be alone.
Mm-hmm.
It sucks at first, but hey, when I look back, bro, I don't regret anything I ever went through. And that's just the moral of the story. It's gonna make you or break you. You know,
the same.
That's
and you gotta refuse to be broken.
Of course,
that's what I'm learning. Like when this stuff comes, because it's like you gotta know this stuff is coming, and any way it comes, be on the lookout because it's gonna come. You can't look past it. Mm-hmm. The bullshit gonna come, and start to develop the ability to be like, see the bullshit off in the distance. Like, hey, is that bullshit showing itself over there?
Yeah.
I already see you, so I already know you coming, so I'm gonna prep for you.
You see a little hedgehog peeking ahead of the bush.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm gonna prep for you because I see you. Yeah. Bullshit can no longer just be like, bam, right here. It's like, nah, I see you now because I got my eyes open now.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? So I know you coming, and I'm gonna be able to equip myself to deal with you when you get here. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Now that's when you start kind of like using that. I might want to sound like a dumbass, but in a fun per se, you should use that whack-a-mole syndrome where you start seeing that bullshit just fucking
straight up.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, if you want to, you gotta look at. I mean, yeah, you want to be serious in life, but you gotta be flexible and have fun. And